Let's start with Everton. They're dubbed the Toffees, but why? Well, because when the club was formed, just down the road there were two local toffee shops. Ye Ancient Everton Toffee House and Mother Noblet's Toffee Shop were big fan favourites. Next, they say if you can't beat 'em, join 'em, and that's exactly what Ipswich Town did when it came to their nickname. The term Tractor Boys used to be chanted by their opponents as a way of putting the team down for their farming background. But during one game back in the late 90s, Ipswich were 1-0 up and they decided to flip the script. 1-0 to the Tractor Boys, they sang, and a new nickname was born. Let's head to Leicester, famous for more than just a red, well, orangey cheese and Jamie Vardy. Leicestershire's also the birthplace of fox hunting, hence the Foxes. Next up, turns out apples are not the only fruit that don't fall far from the tree. Bournemouth's nickname, the Cherries, comes from the fact the club's stadium was originally built right next to a bunch of cherry orchards. This next story actually involves two club nicknames. It started with Crystal Palace. They were having an absolute nightmare run back in the early 70s. They'd been relegated after a terrible spell and manager Malcolm Allison decided enough was enough. He wanted a new nickname, something strong, fast and destined for success. Something exactly like an eagle. But there's more to this one. Brighton were in search of a nickname too, and Palace finally gave them what they needed. In a heated match between the two back in 1976, Palace fans began chanting, "Eagles, Eagles," and some clever Brighton fans came up with the perfect reply, "Seagulls, Seagulls." Not all club nicknames have a crazy story though. Take the Gunners. That just comes from the fact a group of munitions workers in the Royal Arsenal factory in Woolwich set up the club in 1886. On the flip side, some nicknames seem simple, but there's a bit more to them, like West Ham. The Hammers is actually nothing to do with the ham part of the name. It comes from the fact the club used to be called Thames Ironworks FC and was made up of workmen and shipbuilders. So next time the away end's chanting their crazy nickname, you'll now know exactly where it came from.
Good evening, this is Transfer Insiders on talkSPORT. I'm Olly Clink. How are you doing? I've got the former Liverpool winger Jermaine Pennant alongside me this evening. So much on the way for you. Coming up, it's Christmas Eve. The Premier League returns tomorrow. It's back, baby. Liverpool against Bournemouth will be live on talkSPORT, and we have a bumper show for you looking ahead to all of the action with the window still open till the end of September. Before it slams shut, we'll be tracking all of the latest transfers. Will Guehi end up at Liverpool? Will Eze go to Spurs? Will Isak stop ruining my whole summer? Probably not. We'll also be talking about which team is most ready for this season and which still have work to do. We want to hear from you. 03717 223344. What does your team need, or are you good to go? We'll also bring you our predictions for the season. You should see Jermaine's, by the way. I don't know where he's pulled them from. You'll be hearing from the likes of Arnie Slot, James Ward-Prowse and Luke O'Nien. Here we go. This is Transfer Insiders on talkSPORT. Mr. Pennant, like I say, it's Christmas Eve, mate. The Premier League.
I am excited.
Oh.
I'm really excited.
We've had a lot of football over the summer, but there's just nothing like the Premier League.
No. When your club, when your team is back into competitive football, it just, your Thursday and Friday, you start looking forward to it. Oh, yeah. You look forward to your Sunday, your Saturdays.
You got any plans for Liverpool Bournemouth?
Yeah, I've got to go. We're doing it's called a football fest where we for our FPL, for our podcast, and we're going to be watching the game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
are you a big fantasy player, are you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, well, we've got a podcast and that's what it's about. Mine and Jermaine, it's called Wild Cards.
Where did you finish last year? Do you know?
Second.
What, overall? In the whole world?
Oh, in the world?
I was going to say, you're pretty good then.
I wasn't. Listen, I wasn't in the millions. I was in like the fact that about 200,000.
Mate, that's not bad,
good.
right? That's really
That's
good.
not bad. Yeah,
That's really good. Do you get like team news early, don't you? You text Arnie Slot. You just go, oh, mate.
Well, we've got a few friends who know a few people who know a few people.
Mate, is Ekatike playing? Yeah, cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers. So you've got an advantage there. So you're cheating already, but that's fine. But mate, that sounds like good fun that you're watching the game there. That sounds great.
Yeah, it's in Vauxhall. So yeah, we'll watch the game. Some questions.
Good stuff. I mean, to be fair, I feel like, would this be fair? Out of all clubs, Liverpool fans must feel the most confident or the most comfortable.
I don't know about that. I'm nervous.
Really?
Yeah.
What's there to be nervous about?
Because obviously last season there was no going into it. We didn't really know Arnie Slot, so it was all just like, let's just enjoy it. Let's just hopefully we'll finish top 4. Now we've won the league. We've got to, keep that momentum. We've got to retain it. And now this seems like there's more pressure because we've already done it. And now we've obviously gone and spent well. So there's that pressure where we are the favourites because we're the holders. So yeah, I'm nervous because other teams are getting better as well.
I take. Yeah, we're going to hear from Arnie Slot on that actually a bit later. No, he made some interesting comments. He's been speaking to Danny Murphy for talkSPORT, and like I say, we'll hear more from him a bit later on. But he has talked about the pressure side of it, and he actually made quite an interesting point because he said, "Look, last time around, I came in, but the players were all the same. This time around, the players have all changed. I've got to build those relationships. I've got to make sure those players know what the system is, know how they're going to be playing." So he said, in a lot of ways, there's more pressure on this season, not just because they've won the title, but more for him to get it right because there's so many new faces through the door.
Yeah, he took over a team who was together for around 7 to 8 years. Most of the players, ones who were there, with a few additions of Darwin, 3 years there. But the rest of them, the core of them, were there a long time. When that's the full-backs, the midfield. And now that's kind of all changed. So now they've got to restart from scratch and build that relationship, and that comes over amount of games and time, and not just pre-season. So it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be like the teams that fell off last year. They're not going to be that bad again. So your Man City, United, they obviously are going to be better. Spurs are going to be better. So there's going to be a lot more competition. Yeah.
Let us know how you're feeling heading into this season. And we're going to get all the latest transfer news a bit later from Ben Jacobs as well. But 03717 2233 44. There's still a bit of time left in this window. It ends in September. So what do you want your team to do? Or do you feel ready to go? I feel like most Arsenal fans probably feel pretty much ready to go at the moment with some of the business they've done this summer. Other clubs potentially not, including my Newcastle United. Jermaine, it's been a much more stressful summer, I would say, for me.
For you, yes. For me, not. But, apparently rumours that you've signed now Jacob Ramsey.
I think
exciting little player. So that's a bit more attacking depth instead of relying on Jacob Murphy. The whole Simon Gordon.
What, Jacob Murphy, 15 assists last season, mate?
No, that's what I'm saying. Instead of relying on him.
Don't come for my Jacob.
I'm definitely not coming for it. I'm saying after relying on him,
you're right.
You can relieve the pressure. And like I said, Champions League, you're going to need a bigger squad.
Yeah, absolutely. No, because I think that's what we saw last time they were in the Champions League. That they got in, by some stage of that season, they had so many injury issues that it was almost unrecognisable, the first team, heading into some of those games. So I'm glad that they're just getting bodies through the door, given how the summer has kind of gone. But I think Jacob Ramsey is a really exciting signing. I think when you look at the kind of job Joe Willock's done for us over the years and maybe been a bit inconsistent and he's had so many injury problems, and I feel for him in that sense. But I feel like Jacob Ramsey in his performances for Villa, he's like a champagne Willock, isn't he? Like, he's got an eye for goal. He arrives late inside the box, and I just think he's going to add so much depth as well to what is already a pretty stacked midfield. But as we've just said, depth is what you need, isn't it? So
yeah, 100%. And we've seen with these teams who compete on all fronts in competition in Champions League how much the Champions League takes it out of you with travelling, playing away, or whatnot. The intensity of the games, the calibre of players you're playing against. You have to be on your game, so it takes a lot out of your legs and you mentally as well. And you see the squad suffer from it sometimes. First season Newcastle was in it. We see them kind of struggle, a massive dip in the league due to their performances in the Champions League.
Yeah, absolutely. There is obviously another story that's involved Newcastle throughout the summer. Not sure if you're aware as a Liverpool man yourself, but one of our strikers, Alexander Isak, he's apparently he wants to leave. Have you heard about this? You heard about this?
Oh no, that'd be a good signing. That I've not heard about this one.
Oh right, what would you take him at Liverpool? Would you?
Do you know what? Yeah.
Oh, would you? Yeah.
I would, yeah.
Great, yeah. I mean, obviously at the moment, this has gone on all summer. It's been an absolute saga, and it's now a really tricky situation. It was actually quite interesting. I was listening just then to Drive, and they were chatting to the Newcastle fans. They had all sorts of supporters from different clubs. They asked the Newcastle fans about the Isak situation. And one of them said, because at the moment where we are is that, he's saying he doesn't want to reintegrate into the squad. He's doing everything he can to try and push that move. As far as he's concerned, he's played his last game for Newcastle. The two Newcastle fans, one of them said, no, do you know what? Newcastle should hold firm. They should wait. They should wait till after the deadline and then see if they can reintegrate him into that squad because he's such an important player. The other guy said, no, I'm done with it. He's disrespected the club. He's disrespected the manager. He's disrespected his teammates. And actually, it's time for Newcastle to cash in. I'm still weighing this one up.
I don't think
you're coming at this from a player's perspective. What do you make of that?
I don't think he's disrespected his teammates because as a player, if another team comes in with you for a large sum and it's a team like Liverpool, then you would want to go to that team. We understand as a player, as ex-pros and players, that another player would like to go and better their career at a bigger club, competing, Champions Leagues, winning the leagues, getting trophies. That's what we're playing for. We're playing for silverware and to be the best that we can and play for the best. So when you've got a team like Liverpool calling or Real Madrid calling, Barcelona is calling, even Man United, for example, like Cesar's gone to Man United. When it's a big team like that, you want to play for them. You want to have that opportunity. That's what we played for. That's what we dreamt for as little kids. We want to play for these teams. So he's got that opportunity. And he's saying, right, Newcastle, thank you for everything I gave you and vice versa. But I want to play for them. I want to move on now. I want to take my career to another level.
And you're saying the teammates would recognise that?
They will understand that.
So out of interest then, if Newcastle did keep Isak and that was the situation that played out, how much of an issue is reintegration then? Because that is a tight-knit Newcastle squad that have achieved a lot together. You're saying that there wouldn't be that much of an issue then if he was going to get back in the team?
The players, not at all. If he's left out now and he's not, and all of a sudden next week he comes training, he'll be in the dressing room with the boys. Alex, how's it going? Yeah, blah, blah, just like nothing's happened. That we don't care about the outside noise. We don't care about what's going on. We treat each other as the same, but we understand that you want to leave because it's a great opportunity for you, your family, and your future. It's a great opportunity. The players don't care. It's all about the manager, the staff, the board, and the club itself, and the fans. That's where the issue lies, not with the players. Some about might give a bit of murmur, but he's coming back into the changing room and he's reintegrated. People will be fine, like the players will be fine with it. But
what about for Eddie Howe though in that dynamic? Because the players, like you say, maybe wouldn't mind it. But what? There's so much for him to manage, not just the reaction of the fans if it was, him staying at the club, but it's also managing that team dynamic. When do you then bed him back in?
But the thing is now, he's saying, I don't want to play. This is my last game. I don't want to play for the team anymore. I want to move. You're not letting me. You're stopping me from leaving. If the right offer comes in, please let me go. He's probably agents and I've had all these conversations with the club. So now Eddie Howe has got an issue with his mind is not going to be fully there, regardless if he stays. We've upset him in such a way where we are not going to get 100% Isak. Yes, we'll get Alexander Isak. Yes, we will. But we will not get 100% Isak because of this scenario, because of what's gone on. He feels that we've betrayed him. We feel like he's betrayed us. So it's a toxic relationship. It's like when you split with your partner and it's toxic, you get back. It's not 100% great. It might work for a short term or whatnot, but it's not 100% great. And it's the same thing. So for Newcastle, the best thing is get the sum that they want.
Are you surprised in that sense that this isn't gathering pace? That Liverpool haven't gone back in already?
Yeah.
Why? Do you essentially think this is Liverpool waiting as late as they can to get the lowest price they can?
I think they're waiting if Newcastle go out and get Wissa and another striker. I think until that happens, doesn't matter what Liverpool do, we won't see anything at all. So those things have got to start happening before Liverpool come back to the drawing board and asking questions and then putting in a bid. But until then, he's going to remain a Newcastle player.
How badly do you want him? Because you sign him, I'm sorry, but you win the league. You win the league. He had so many goals.
Yeah.
So many.
He had 27 goals.
How badly do you want him to join as a Liverpool fan?
Yeah, it will be. I think it will be the signing of the decade. That's how big I'm going to go on this. What he can bring. Look, the way that this is gathering momentum, the way this is gathering noise, it's for a reason. It's not just because it's a massive sum of money. It's because what the league has saw Isak do for Newcastle against tough opposition. I hate Isak. Every time he played against Liverpool, he scored. And not scored. He scored wonder goals.
I hate Isak as well, mate.
But on the flip side, I love him. So, no, he's just a fantastic talent. And, yeah, if you had something like that in your team, along with Salah with his numbers, we can even let Salah dip. We can even give some 3/4 of what he gave you last season. That's still 20-odd goals.
Yeah.
And then you add in Isak to that thingy. Tic-tacs.
And that's the end of the show. Cheers, mate.
Akatike.
Yeah.
If you add him as well, you know, he's like a goal scorer. You got Wirtz who can create and score. Gakpo, we already know, 13 goals. So there's a lot of power there. Even though we've lost a lot, there's still a lot of power there.
Yeah.
If we get easy.
Yeah, Johan Wissa scored more goals from open play in the Premier League last season, but that's fine, mate. Don't worry about it. Right. yeah. We're not just talking about Isak tonight. Of course, we want to hear from fans of all clubs. 03717 223344. Is your squad ready to go this season? If not, what do they need? You can text us on 81089 as well. This is Transfer Insiders on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes. 18+, begambleaware.org. Good evening, this is Transfer Insiders here on talkSPORT with me, Olly Clink. I'm alongside the former Liverpool and Arsenal and Eberechi Town winger, Jermaine Pennant. By the way, we've been talking about Isak. Just to mark your card, the PSR derby, 12:30, Aston Villa against Newcastle on Saturday is live on talkSPORT, so you can tune into that. And don't forget, the season kicks off tomorrow. Liverpool against Bournemouth is live on talkSPORT, kick-off at 8 o'clock. For that one, we're going to chat about Grealish in just a moment. We've got a couple of texts, though, already. We've been asking, is your team ready to go? Have they done the right business? Is there still more to do? James is an Arsenal fan. He says, really happy with the business we've done, but I still think we need a left winger. My preference would be Rafa Leao. I do like Martinelli, but I don't think he's good enough. What do you make of that, Jermaine? Because I feel like Madueke's been brought in. As much as he could be back up to Saka, I think he might be playing on that left-hand side. Is he good enough?
He is good enough, but is he good enough to replace Saka on the right? No. Is he good enough to be in your squad and an important player like a Trossard? Absolutely. So it depends on what you see him in as and what you want. You want a guy who's going to start over Martinelli, then I think if you're putting them both together, it's a place of them fighting it out. And who performs best when they get given their chance.
The other player they've been linked with is Eberechi Eze, and Ben Jacobs is going to give us an update on that in just a moment, because he could be going to the other team in North London, to Tottenham Hotspur. So Ben will keep us across that. Another one here, I'm a Newcastle fan. I love Isak, he's a great talent, but after all of this talk and down tooling, I'd rather just ship him off now and get some players in that want to play for Newcastle. I agree with that. And the other thing is, right, if you keep Isak, and then he still doesn't play, refuses to play, his value only depreciates. So we get to January and you're getting 20, 30 million less than you would do if you're selling him at the end of this window. Yeah,
and it's just going to, like I said, if he's refusing to play then, it's just like you don't want that around the place. You don't want around your players and the toxicness. So I think for everyone's sake, for everyone's best interest, Newcastle get what they asking for, or as close as possible.
Out of interest, there's been a lot of ex-pros who have been saying, I've seen Gabby Agbonlahor say it on this station, but then even the likes of, whether it's Roy Keane or Ian Wright or Gary Neville, whatever it was, who are almost, disgusted by the fact that he's decided to not train and not play. Is that fair?
But the thing is, do we know the ins and outs? As he turned around to Eddie Howe and said, I'm not training with you, or as Newcastle and Eddie Howe said to him, said, right, because of what's going on, you saying you don't want to play for us anymore, you're not going to train, you're going to train with the kids all alone.
Well, I think Eddie Howe said that it wasn't quite up to him, that Isak wasn't training. So it looks like it's coming from Isak's side at the moment. So what do you make of that?
Yeah, there's ways in going about things. You can still get a move by being a little bit professional. I can't believe I'm saying that. It's probably one of the worst professionals out there.
Come on, Alex, follow the example, mate.
No, but in the modern game now, I think you can still get what you want by just being a good professional, coming in, training with the boys, and hopefully you can have the conversation in his office, Eddie Howe's office, and say, look, Eddie, I don't want to play. I want to move on. I want to try another opportunity that I've got.
Okay, this is Transfer Insiders with me, Olly Clink. We'll get back to the transfers in just a moment. It's now time to get an odds update with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our odds boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
Let's bring in Chris Wood from Ladbrokes. How you doing, Chris?
Hi guys, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, really good, thanks. Right, Jermaine said he's nervous heading into this season, a Liverpool fan, which I can't believe. Are they favourites for the title, Chris?
Oh yeah, definitely favourites. They're 7-4 at the moment, and that price will come in if they do manage to pull off the Isak signing. Arsenal are in at 5-2 next in. Man City at 7-2. Chelsea, we've seen a bit of money for them. They're at 8-1, and then Manchester United the next in at 22. So can't see it myself, but they're the odds. Newcastle, you're just talking about, they're 50-1 at the moment. Again, that price is massively dependent on the Isak signing, and Spurs we've clipped in a little bit into 50-1.
Well, yeah, talking of Spurs, we haven't even mentioned that yet, have we?
I've got a long show, mate.
Got a long old show. We'll be bringing that up at some point. Poor old Spurs, once again, right at the death, losing in that Super Cup. What about that entire season then? What odds have you got for them, maybe finishing in the top 4 or winning another trophy?
Yeah, Spurs. I thought the performance last night was like, obviously the end to it wasn't great, but I thought they played pretty well. There's definitely green shoots there for Thomas Frank, and I really like Richarlison as a player. And we just he's in the market at 150 to 1 top scorer. Obviously, he's probably not going to get the game time, but he really looked back to something approaching his best last night. And yeah, Spurs. So they're in at 4 to 1 to finish in the top 4. 6 to 4 to finish in the top 6. Sort of other sides in and around that sort of price. Man U are 4 to 5 to finish in the top 6. 3 to 1 to finish top 4. Newcastle, we were obviously just talking about as well. They're 3 to 1 to finish in the top 4, and just shade of odds on to finish in the top 6, 10 to 11.
Yeah, he did look good, Richarlison. It's a good shout there. And what about the Champions League? Who are the favourites for that?
Champions League, still PSG. They're in at 9 to 2, a little bit weaker today. Barcelona are 13 to 2, but there's quite a lot of doubts around who they're actually going to start the season with there. Liverpool 13 to 2. If they pull this Isak signing off, I think that's they look really solid in just every outright market. Arsenal 15 to 2, Real Madrid 15 to 2, Man City 9 to 1, and then into Bayern at 11 to 1. I can't see that. They look like a team in transition. Chelsea 12 to 1, and Napoli have a little squeak for them at 25 to 1. I think they've signed really well, and they've signed sort of short term, so they're obviously looking at achieving something this season.
Great stuff. Chris, thanks very much indeed. That was a look at the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Odds update on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our odds boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
This is Transfer Insiders here on talkSPORT with me, Olly Clink, alongside Jermaine Pennant. In just a moment, we're going to chat to talkSPORT's transfer reporter, Ben Jacobs, for all of the latest in the window.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go.
Difficult place to go.
Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've had a look. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on the side of a cliff in the Faroe Islands in Euro 2000 qualifying. The pitch at Toftir was like a cow field, never mind those gale force winds. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time. Cue Scandi scenes. But away trips don't come tougher than playing Bolivia at altitude in La Paz. Or so we thought. The Bolivians have now taken home advantage to another level, literally 500 metres further up the Andes to the country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Meanwhile, the loudest stadium in world football officially is the Ali Sami Yen, where Galatasaray fans set a world record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead. But our most intimidating away day is in Wales. Prison team HMP Prescoed was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Max Scott wasn't happy with me there.
He wasn't.
He was.
He was fighting all sorts of demons, wasn't he? He was fighting all
You were giggling in the corner, mate. That's what set it off, I reckon. This is Transfer Insiders here on talkSPORT with me, Olly, Clink, alongside Jermaine, Pennant. We're going to get the latest transfer news from Ben Jacobs in just a moment. But first, one of the big transfers of this summer has been Jack Grealish, who's joined Everton on loan for the season. On talkSPORT Breakfast a bit earlier, the former Villa striker Gabby Bonlahor says he hopes that Everton boss David Moyes allows Grealish to express himself.
Great chance, great opportunity, perfect manager as well, who will understand him as a person, as a player. And now you haven't got a manager who is coaching you through a game and making players robotic. He can go out and play in that number 10 role. I think he'll link up amazingly with Ndai on that left-hand side. I think both of them will rotate off that left-hand side number 10 position. And even like we just said before we come on, Jeff, like Dewsbury Hall coming into the team now, everyone see a different style of football from Everton where they're getting the ball down a lot more. They've got other options as well. Man, Neil off the right, Garner, Gahey or Alcaraz can partner Dewsbury Hall. But I just think Jack is going to be happy to be playing football, training all week to have the prize of playing on a Saturday.
He's bang on, isn't he, Gabby? I mean, and I don't know about you, Jermaine, but I just feel like David Moyes is easily a smart enough manager to realise this and know that he needs to kind of give Grealish free rein and let him shine again.
Yeah, I think this is the first time and probably the only time that I'm going to agree with Gabby. Basically, yeah, what he said is spot on. If you look at David Moyes, is an old school manager per se. As in, he's not going to be on the touchline barking orders. He will tell you what to do in half time before the game, give you instructions, and then you go out there and express and do what I've told you to do, and at the same time have the freedom to play. And I think that's what Jack needs. You know, I think he had that kind of freedom when he was at Aston Villa, and that's what got him his move to Man City. Yeah. I love him as a player. I love him as a guy. I think his personality is brilliant. His character. We need a bit more of them in the game. And I really hope it works out. And this is a great signing for Everton if you get the Jack Grealish that we all know.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a good signing for Everton. Do you think it is the right move for Grealish? Is it the right... I think it's an Everton team on the rise again, for sure, under Moyes with new ownership, etc. Is it the right move right now for his career, do you think?
Well, it is. It's about... At this point in time, you need to be somewhere playing regular football week in, week out. And at Man City, you've got a lot of pressure there to deliver. You've got a lot of pressure to win games. And sometimes if you don't, you can be, no fault of your own, you can be the fall guy. If you don't, maybe you make a mess or you don't have the greatest game, you know, they'll look to point fingers. Where if you're Everton, you're not expected to win every single game. You're not expected to be the best team, you know, in the league against everyone you play. So something like this, it will give Jack a little bit of, you know, less pressure to deal with. he doesn't want to leave where he's at home at the moment. So that's another factor which is always good for a player. So all the fundamentals are there for him to express and absolutely show what a story is.
Absolutely. Right, let's get into some transfers, shall we? Delighted to say that joining us now is Ben Jacobs, talkSPORT's transfer reporter. How you doing, Ben?
Good evening, guys. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you, mate. My first question for you really is
Isak coming to Liverpool? Thank you, Ben.
I was going to say, where is he? I mean, honestly, what's going on? I've heard he's moved out his house in Newcastle. I mean, I don't know. Alex, if you want to come on the show, 03717223344.
He could be on Premier Inn on the M6 somewhere.
Merseyside Premier Inn.
Room. That's the way to do it. Offer him a room and then get the exclusive as a result. Look, I think the situation is quite tense between Newcastle and Isak, as we know, and yet Liverpool haven't moved. So no update at the moment in the sense of they've not walked away. They want Isak. He's the priority target, but there hasn't been any new engagement club to club since that rejected bid of 110 million. I sense that Newcastle are thinking about softening this 2 replacements then sell stance. And maybe it could be Johan Wissa and then allow Isak his move. And there's some suggestion from sources that Anthony Gordon could be utilised as more of a lead striker because Harvey Barnes on the left-hand side is in excellent form. So there's quite a lot of games. But don't forget 2 things. One, Newcastle don't have a sporting director at the moment. So Yasser Arumi and Jamie Rubin, the co-owners, are driving a lot of the decision-making. And then Andy Howe, the recruitment expert, Eddie Howe, and Steve Nixon are sort of the other 3. So it's quite an atypical setup in terms of making a big decision. And then the other thing that maybe some people forget, because we're focused on the beginning of the Premier League season, is Newcastle's first St James's Park match after this weekend, next weekend, is at home to Liverpool. So maybe there's an impasse and a radio silence because it would be unthinkable to get it done and have Isak make his debut at St James's Park wearing a red shirt. So I sense there's politics over price, there's politics between player and club, and there genuinely is a bit of an impasse. Liverpool are backing off, they're waiting. But it wouldn't surprise me if after that game in the final week of the window, Liverpool to Isak still picks up and ultimately gets done, because Isak's position, remember, at the moment anyway, is he will not play another game for Newcastle United Football Club, even if he's still there when the window shuts.
That game is live on talkSPORT, by the way, Newcastle against Liverpool. I've got my ticket, by the way. And the atmosphere for that could be absolutely electric, whether he's there or not, for either team, I think, with everything that's kind of played out this summer. I just want to ask you one thing, Ben, because it sounded a bit there like you were suggesting that reintegration really doesn't feel like an option at the moment. Is there any chance of that changing if he is still a Newcastle player by the time the window shuts? Because surely he's going to want to play. He's not just going to sit around for 6 months or so.
Yeah, it's a World Cup year too. And obviously when the window shuts, players start to get a bit agitated if they have said that they won't reintegrate and then they can't play football. I think also Isak's position by not doing what, for example, Moises Caicedo did in a January window when he actually wanted to move to Arsenal, even though he would end up at Chelsea in the following summer. Caicedo made a public statement. Isak's not said anything. So all of the Isak this, Isak that, of course, we stand by our position because we've sourced it as journalists, but the player's not said anything. So if the window shuts, Newcastle could change their position and say it was never as bad as people implied. Isak could change his position too. I think there's an element of poker going on. And of course, if Newcastle's position to begin with is we might start fining Isak, we're not going to reintegrate him if he doesn't change his attitude. If the club are doubling down on we're not selling him at any price, which was certainly suggested by certain reports, even though that's not quite been our understanding on talkSPORT. But if Isak's reading all of that, it's natural that he goes to the opposite extreme and says, well, okay, if you're saying that you're not going to sell me, or you're only going to sell me for 150 million, then I'm going to go on strike and I'm going to tell you, you don't win taking that tactic, because if I'm still at the football club, I'll never put the shirt on again. And I suspect that if a scenario arose where Isak didn't go to Liverpool when the window shuts, Newcastle and Isak might soften their position.
Yeah, but before we talk about other transfer news, quickly what you touched on there, he's not being fined. For a player to say, I'm not training with you, I'm not going to play again, that's a breach of contract for one and so on. and there's not one rumour of him being fined a week's wages. I've been fined for a lot less. I've been fined for being late. You know,
how many times?
It doesn't matter. I was just, stuck in traffic, and I wanted to play. I wanted to train. I got fined on multiple occasions. Just the fact that nothing's came out, no murmurs, no whispers of him being fined. I think there's more to it than what we're actually hearing going on.
Yeah, I think there will be a fine because the club policy is definitely that if you self-exclude from a competitive game, you get docked wages of some capacity. And maybe what happens is the severity of the fine is higher because it's factoring in the context of what we've seen throughout pre-season. If you flip it, and we be fair to the Isak side, he may argue the fact the club haven't yet fined him, even though I suspect they will when he misses the squad for the first Premier League game of the season. But Isak may say they're not fining me because they understand my position. Because remember, Alexander Isak is not just having his head turned by Liverpool now. He wanted to leave the football club right at the end of the season before they got Champions League football, and essentially 12 months ago because the now departed Paul Mitchell didn't offer him a new deal. Again, Newcastle would argue that he had 4 years left. They had a tight PSR position, so they deferred. That's now backfired. But I think Isak feels like he made it clear to Newcastle he was out at the end of the season, and effectively Newcastle have reneged on a verbal promise, having not offered him a new deal to sell him. That's Isak's perspective. It is disputed by some Newcastle sources. But obviously, if you're not punishing a player, to some extent, you are vindicating their actions. And Isak may argue that there hasn't been a punishment to date because actually some people at the football club are sympathetic to his position.
Ben, give us the latest with Eberechi Eze, because for a long time he's been linked with Arsenal. It seemed initially as if Spurs were going in for him, then Arsenal were going to come in and take him away. But now it's potentially looking like he might be heading to Spurs.
Yeah, it's clear that Arsenal did all the legwork and Eze would be open to that move. But the same for the Spurs project, both in London, both with Champions League football. And Eberechi Eze has a release clause that expires before the Premier League season kicks off. But most suitors feel that they're going to try and do business outside of that release clause, whether at 55, 60 million, Mohamed Kudus type ballpark from Tottenham's perspective, or a little bit higher. But I don't know many that see appeal in triggering the release clause of Eberechi Eze. So when it disappears, it won't change the landscape much. But Tottenham want to be quick here. They've decided to enter the race because they didn't get Morgan Gibbs-White and James Maddison did his ACL. They think that the player will join them. And obviously, if they're quick, they won't have any competition. Let's see if Arsenal respond. If it's a straight choice between Spurs and Arsenal, same fee, same terms, I think Eze would be quite keen on Arsenal. But that's not to say he'll reject Spurs versus staying at Crystal Palace if there is a club-to-club agreement. So Tottenham are intent on moving. It feels a slightly easier deal than Savinho because Manchester City have got a high valuation and they don't really want to sell. And then the other sort of more complex part of this is, does Steve Parish want to sell Mark Gahey and Eberechi Eze in the same window? So if Liverpool agree a fee for Gahey, who Palace want to sell because they know he's not going to sign a new deal and will leave on a free transfer in a year's time. So if Gahey goes first and Eze's release clause disappears, does it make it a whole lot harder for either Tottenham or Arsenal? But I would say Tottenham are the front runners. They think the player will say yes. And now we have to wait and see whether Arsenal respond.
Jermaine, what's the better move, do you think, for Eberechi Eze, Spurs or Arsenal?
It's a tough one. But off the top of my head, without going into details, I'll probably say for him, maybe Spurs.
Really?
Yeah.
Over Arsenal? Over heading into a season where you're challenging for the league? I'm not saying Spurs won't, but you know what I'm saying.
It depends how you're looking at it. If you want to go and win trophies, you want to be challenging for Champions League, then obviously, yeah, it's better to go to Arsenal because you're going to be, you got more chance of doing that than where Spurs are at the moment. But Spurs are still a good team. Mm-hmm. They're not a small club. They've had a really bad season. But a couple of years ago, when they had Harry Kane and Son, there was, knocking out Arsenal in Champions League for them to get top four. So if he was to go to Spurs, he's going to be the main man there.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, even with Maddison injured as well,
he's going to be the main man. And he will play in his position that he prefers, where he likes to wander. And that's the number 10 kind of role. If he goes to Arsenal, is he going to take over the captain and take out Odegaard? Because that's where he plays at the moment. Are they going to put him on the left? He's not really a wing and he won't want to do that. That would be a similar kind of thing as putting, Jack Grealish on the left at Man City. Can do it, but it's not his preferred position.
It's not his best.
It's not his best. So you got to wait up and go, where am I going to play regular? Where am I going to be the main guy and help this team, climb and go forward? It's probably Spurs.
Yeah, well, there we go. You've taught me round there. You've taught me round, because I was kind of thinking, well, of course you join the team.
No, you would.
But it's that point about being the main man, isn't it? That's really important. Ben, just before we let you go, some positive news for Newcastle. That in just a moment. I believe you might have some breaking news for us as well.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest are really active at the moment in the market, and I can tell you that they're in talks with Ipswich Town for Amari Hutchinson, who they have tried for before in this window. And my understanding is that a fee of around 37.5 million has now been agreed between the clubs, and Hutchinson therefore is set to leave Ipswich Town and join Nottingham Forest. And this is part of a flurry of business for Nottingham Forest off the back of keeping Morgan Gibbs-White. We know that they have a fee in place, 26 million for Arnaud Calamwendo, the Rennes forward. And the expectation is that that one gets done. And in addition, there's a fee agreed, although the structure of the deal is not yet finalised, for the Man City midfielder James McAtee. So it's not either ors here. Nottingham Forest in the next sort of few days, or at least between now and the end of the window, are hoping to finalise Amari Hutchinson, and personal terms there will be no issue. So that one's looking like it's going to get done. Calamwendo, they need to finalise the structure and the personal terms, but 26 million fee agreed. And still we expect James McAtee to be a Nottingham Forest player between now and when the window ends.
Ben, you're an absolute star. Thank you very much indeed. Sounds like some decent business there for Nottingham Forest as well. Two very good young players that they may well be in for. We'll talk about that in just a moment here on Transfer Insiders on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes. 18+, begambleaware.org. love this text on 81089. Before the break, Jermaine, Pennant, I asked you if Eze should go to Spurs or Arsenal, and you said Spurs. And Errol, the Man United fan, said, well, Jermaine's only said that because it would have an effect on your Liverpool if he went to Arsenal.
No, we said literally for a player's perspective and which would be best for the player, that was all.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Nothing to do with Liverpool then, yeah?
No, you can sign Ronaldo, we don't care. Just saying.
Going to have Isak probably. Right, we're going to come to some of your calls in just a moment. 03717 223344. It's time now to look at all the latest football action with Ladbrokes.
The big preview on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes. You build it, we give you a free bet for the first 3 weeks of the Premier League. That's Ladisfaction. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
We can now hear from Arne Slot. The Liverpool boss sat down with talkSPORT's Danny Murphy for an exclusive interview, which you can hear in full at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning on talkSPORT Breakfast. But here's a taster of what to expect as Slot takes a look at who his side's biggest challengers will be this season.
Last season, I also felt pressure on my side because everybody maybe didn't expect a lot, so that also comes down with a certain pressure. Because everybody was after Jurgen, it's impossible. I think now we might need more time than we needed last season because the manager changed, but the players stayed the same. Yeah. And I've said many times that the playing style between Jurgen and me is not so different that it takes ages for them to be adapted to.
Yes.
Now players need to adapt to each other. And we also brought different profiles in, so we cannot compare Florian Wirtz with any player we've got. Yeah, maybe with Harvey Elliott, but he didn't play that much last season. And Jeremy Frimpong is a completely different profile than Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yeah. So this is something that might need some time.
You mentioned just before about your competitors. Obvious candidate, Arsenal, Man City, strengthening. Do you see Chelsea coming into that as well now?
I expected them to win last season already.
Really?
Yeah. The amount of quality they have. And they were, in the start of the season, they were into it. So I think they were, after 10 games, they were...
Even by December, they were...
Yeah, they were still there. So squad depth, quality they have, very good manager as well. And I think they showed this by winning the trophies they won last season. Good for us is that they also had a period last season where they struggled, and that's why they couldn't compete till the end for the league title. But now again, they're strengthening the team again. So yeah, very good team, good players, good manager. So a team that's, in my opinion, one of the ones that are really challenged for a league title.
Some interesting stuff there from the Liverpool boss, Arne Slot. You can hear the full interview at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning on talkSPORT Breakfast. Just before we go to the calls, Jermaine, interesting comments on Chelsea there as challengers this season. Now, you'd expect Man City to be up there and Arsenal, but have Chelsea put themselves in that conversation? Because he is right. Up until December last season, they very much were in that conversation. They had a bit of a dip. But then we saw them this summer, the Club World Cup, they thrashed PSG in the final. How concerned are you about Chelsea?
Yeah, I'm concerned about them all. All the top four teams, I'm concerned because they're getting better. So is we. And we're not going to have it as easy as we did last year. Teams are now, fixing their woes and putting things right now. And I think Chelsea made a statement by... Everyone took them serious and thought, oh, this could be a good Chelsea team this year when they beat PSG. It was all talking about PSG being the best team in the world, being best team in Europe. Well, there was because they won the Champions League. And, Chelsea, giving them a whooping, 3-0.
Yeah.
So that's just put them, a bit of fear into all the teams now going, oh, okay. I know people are saying, look, the World Club Cup is... can't really take that serious. The players are still in off-season mode. They want to go on holiday. They're not really in it. But still, you're still out there. You've got a player who's in front of you and PSG are no mugs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they've got to be in it. I think there are a few signings away of being, elite. Proper elite. Yeah. So, if they had talk about a top striker, I know they've got Delap, but I'm saying last season they didn't have one. If we look at the Sanchez, people are saying, if you want to be competing for the league over 38 games, you need a serious goalkeeper. And a few of the defenders are short. Carwell injured now, so there's a couple of gaps in there. But as a whole, depth-wise and squad, absolutely fantastic.
03717223344 if you are a Chelsea fan. Do you agree with Jermaine there? You're a couple of signings away from properly challenging for the title. You might think that you're already there and going to put the frighteners up Liverpool this season. Right, let's go to the phone lines. We were chatting about Isak. What should Newcastle do in this situation? Do they cash in or keep him there? Derek is a Newcastle fan. Derek, tell me, what should they do, sir?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
I'm going to make some controversial points, but I hope you'll accept them as they are.
Of course, everyone's got the opinion.
Club's fingerprints are all over this Isak standoff. They've put in a derisory offer for the player. They've stood back and watched Newcastle United tear itself apart, whilst Isak continues this defiant pattern, which they hope eventually will ensure that they receive their man at a reduced price. And they have previous form for this, by the way. But what they've forgotten, and what they should remember, is that the Saudi owners who own this club will not throw up their hands and say, "Rid me of this troublesome priests." Eh?
Yeah. So, Derek, in your eyes, then, do you just keep Isak even if he doesn't want to play?
No. What I'm going to finish by saying, unfortunately for our friend Isak and Liverpool Football Club, these people are not going to be bullied by Liverpool. They're certainly not going to go down that track. The cartel of 6 clubs have done that for the last 10 years, and Newcastle United now are financially independent of these people. And I firmly believe that if they continue in this vein, they will insist on £150 million, wait for it, whether they sign 2 players or not.
Derek, great call. 03717223344.
I'm gonna have to really disagree with Derek. Because you've done exactly the same to Brentford with Wissa. Absolutely, you've gone in with a bid, and you've turned his head. He wants to now join Newcastle. He wants to leave, and he's throwing his problems out the toilet because he wants to join a bigger club and join Newcastle. When a club goes in for a player, they're not going to go, he's valued at XYZ, here's XYZ, because it's bad business. You will go in a little bit lower in case this club's turn around and goes, oh yeah, we'll accept that. And you go, oh, amazing, we've just saved ourselves 30 million. You've turned around and said no, so now Liverpool take a step back and they will come in for a new offer higher. Do you accept this one? No. And then they keep offering until you say yes.
I think the only difference with the Wissa situation is he's saying that he had a verbal agreement.
Well, so did Isak.
Yeah, but not about leave him. Not about leave, about a contract, but not leave him. Wissa had one to leave to go to a better club. But I do take your point. I mean, Liverpool got to try, haven't they? That's how all transfers work.
I don't think there's been one transfer where, on the first go, the fee has been spot on what the club wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? 110 million, a derisory offer.
Yeah.
From there. And actually, with the way that Newcastle value him, he has got a bit of a point there. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes, 18+, gambleaware.org.
The big preview on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes. You build it, we give you a free bet for the first 3 weeks of the Premier League. That's Ladisfaction. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Keep your calls coming in, 03717223344. What does your side need ahead of the new season, ahead of the window shutting in September? All of that, plus in just a moment, we'll bring you our Premier League predictions. You should see Jermaine's.
Cricket balls are red, baseballs are white, American footballs are brown, and tennis balls are yellow. We don't even think about it really, but the story behind the tennis ball is actually quite interesting, and even involves Sir David Attenborough. I know. Well, here's the tale. Tennis is widely known to be a French sport. It dates back to the 12th century when people used handmade balls, and it was then called tennis, which is the verb to hold in French. And people used some pretty wacky material to make the balls with. Cork, wool, chalk, animal fur, and even human hair. A few centuries on, Germany got dead into the tennis too, but wanted to make a few modifications to the ball to make it a bit more effective. Around this time, an American chemist had just created something called vulcanized rubber. Out of that, people started developing air-filled rubber balls, which were properly bouncy, but either red or grey in colour. These were manufactured in Melton Mowbray. That's right, the home of the pork pie. One problem, the balls kept on breaking on impact with the racket. The call of new balls please seemingly coming over every other point. Step forward English lawyer and tennis enthusiast John Moyer Heathcote, who suggested balls be covered in flannel to stop them from degrading. And thus the modern-day tennis ball was born. But these were white or black, so how did they become yellow? Well, in 1967, the controller of BBC Two, one Sir David Attenborough, decided the corporation should show Wimbledon on colour TV. He got his wish, and it was wide into people's homes across the country. The only sticking point, the white balls were nearly impossible to see on the screen. So the International Tennis Federation, sensing an opportunity, started developing a new ball that would be visible even without the need for 4K LED displays. Not that anyone had that in the late 60s. After rigorous testing, they came up with the colour Optic Yellow and decided every ball be coated in that colour from there on in. And there you have it. Tennis balls are yellow, all because Sir David Attenborough wanted to watch Wimbledon from the comfort of his own front room. You could say the ITF aced it.
Good evening, this is the Transfer Insiders on talkSPORT. I'm Olly Clink, how are you doing? I've got the former Liverpool winger Jermaine Pennant alongside me on Christmas Eve because the Premier League is back tomorrow. Liverpool against Bournemouth is live on talkSPORT. We've got a packed weekend of action for you too. Aston Villa against Newcastle is at 12:30. We'll get into those two clubs a bit later on. We'll be talking all things transfers. We'll also talk about other teams in the Premier League. Wolves, could they be in trouble this season? We'll chat about the signing of Dominic Calvert-Lewin for Leeds. Could that be a game changer for them? And in just a moment, we'll give you our predictions for the top 5 in the Premier League. If you agree or disagree, you probably disagree, give us a call 03717 22 33 44. This is the Transfer Insiders on talkSPORT. It is Christmas Eve, isn't it? The Premier League is back. It all gets underway tomorrow night at Anfield as Liverpool take on Bournemouth live on talkSPORT.
I believe in the meaning of spoken word.
They like that. Oh, they like that. Top to bottom, one of the most unpredictable leagues around.
The difference is you don't quit, not until you reach the peak.
The Premier League title is coming back to Anfield.
Liverpool are the best team in the country. They were the best team in the country last year, and they've got even better.
But best believe it's your claim on it, because you've got a destiny with your name on it.
Saga! 1-0 Arsenal. Haaland to take it round the keeper. Oh, that's magnificent.
I think the Chelsea fans will expect Chelsea to compete for the league next season.
Palmer goes for goal and scores! What a hat-trick!
Oh my gosh, honestly, the Premier League, it never fails to deliver.
Setting up another one for Peru. Could it be 2? Oh, yes it is! Another massive moment in Ellen Road!
Here's Manuel Benson on this near side, onto his right foot, hits one! Oh my word!
Sunderland are Premier League again!
It's a wonderful game. We love it for a same reason, the unpredictability.
Oh, give it away to Isak! There! Bruno Fernandes, what a finish, what a goal on the counter for Manchester United. Salah, 1-0.
It's talkSPORT. We are Premier League.
Yeah, we cannot wait. It returns tomorrow live on talkSPORT. Liverpool against Bournemouth at 8 o'clock. Nice little Isak goal in that little package there, just to annoy me, which is nice. Might be hearing his name scoring for Liverpool
in
next season. In the Cop. Already got a chant for him, haven't you, probably? Oh, my word. Right, Jermaine, we've been chatting about all things transfers. It's still very difficult to predict things. Of course it is, because it's a season-long thing. And the transfer window hasn't shut yet, which will have a big impact, of course. But we're going to give it a go. Yeah. As it is the day before the Premier League starts, we're going to reveal our bottom three, I should say, a bit later on. But right now, we're going to focus on the top 5. So let's start with you, sir, and we're going to do them in order as well. So, who's coming 5th, Jermaine, next season?
Right, I've gone with this team because I believe Eze will go there, and this signing will elevate them.
Eze's going to Newcastle?
To Spurs. And I think he will elevate them to the next level.
Really?
I think it will give them that little bit of dynamic, what they're missing at times.
That's a very good season for Thomas.
I think the Spurs will be 5th.
Okay. Do you know what? When we were doing this, I found 5th the hardest to predict. It's really difficult.
I've had a good thing. I think Villa are struggling at the moment with PSR. Can't really get no big signings in. Newcastle, we all know what's going on with it. You may lose your main striker. Where are you going to get the goals from? Man United, again, it was a toss-up between Man United and Spurs, but I just think that Spurs are in a better place right now than United. I know they've got Sesko and Cunha, but at the back, that's not being addressed, and that's where they're going to struggle a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
And the Spurs were great against PSG for the last 15 minutes. Until the last 15 minutes was very Spursy, which is amazing, amazing to watch. But I just feel that they're going to come 5th for me. I think it was Spurs.
See, right, I'm gonna stick my neck out. I think Newcastle come 5th again.
Do you?
I really do. Yeah, I really do. I think there's enough goals in that team, because when you think about it, obviously a lot of this is going to depend on how many strikers they can get through. I think Whistle will happen. Right?
You guys have lost all your 6 games in pre-season.
Yeah, that's right. It's pre-season, mate.
I'm just throwing out at least one win. At least get a draw.
Yeah, it doesn't count, mate. It doesn't count.
Just
watch us get battered on Saturday. But I'm gonna say Newcastle, because I think that, as much as we will miss Isak and the quality that he brings, and the fact he's a match winner, and the fact that he can, he's so effective in games where you're taking on some of the bigger clubs in the league, which is so important, and 23 goals is fantastic. Callum Wilson scored 18 goals when we came 4th the first time around. We have a system that is built for a decent finisher to get a number of goals in a season. So as much as we'll miss Isak's quality at that end of the pitch, it's still an incredible starting 11. And actually, it's obviously been a summer of a lot of rejection, a lot of players choosing other clubs, etc. But in the last few weeks, there's been some pretty decent business I'm pretty happy with. The likes of Ramsdale coming in and Jacob Ramsey on his way in. We'll get Whistler over the line. I like Alanga too. I don't think it's as desperate a situation. It's just been exacerbated by the fact that
we've seen how,
and also we're not, let's not rule out that Isak might still be there.
Yeah, but we just I think we go on about how important a number 9 is. We've seen Arsenal struggle over the years. How what they've been missing. Now they've addressed it. Man United been missing an out-and-out number 9, good striker. They'll go and address it with Sesko. If you don't get Isak, if Isak does go, and then you start filling the holes with maybe playing a Gordon there, because you've got a load of wide men playing Gordon there, you're going to find yourself in the same kind of predicament the other teams were.
Yeah, I really don't know what to expect from Manchester United. I really don't. And I do agree with you that as much as they've changed that front line and it looks pretty exciting, I just think that the issues were coming in midfield and at the back, and those haven't really been addressed.
No.
And the goalkeeper. I thought they, as much as scoring goals is a huge part of it and should have been the priority, those areas still haven't been taken care of. And Spurs with a Champions League campaign alongside it. I think if I was going to choose, it's between Newcastle and Spurs, and I don't think Villa's summer's been that good either.
Yeah,
and that maybe has gone under the radar. Right, in terms of your top 4, give me them from 4th to 1st.
So I'm going to go Chelsea. I think there's going to be there'll be a lot more competitive for a longer period, not, fall off after 10 games or December. They're going to be there all the way, but just not go over the line. They're going to be 4th. Man City 3rd.
Man City 3rd, okay.
I'm going Man City 3rd. Again, I think they're at the back as well. They're, a little bit of Diaz and the older players. Arsenal, I'm going to go 2nd.
Arsenal 2nd.
And Liverpool 1st. But listen, it's not going to be like won by 5-6 games in, 13 points clear. This is going to be a tight title race. This is going to be going down to the wire, I reckon.
If Arsenal,
with all 3, maybe 4 teams in it.
So if Arsenal come 2nd again, but it is by 2 points, and they don't win the Champions League, and they don't win the FA Cup or League Cup because they're focused on the league, etc. So it would be once again a 2nd place finish. What does that mean for Arteta?
It clearly shows trusting the process is no longer trusting. He's been there. This will be 6th season. He won an FA Cup, which was Unai Emery's team, and he's now got the striker that they've all been crying out for. He's added in other areas. There is literally no excuse now to not win some sort of silverware.
But it still feels, doesn't it, as if other squads are stronger and have better players. And actually, I think if that is the case, and at the end of this season, Arteta does go, I think when you look back at his time, you look at last season and go, that was the season. They should have got a number 9 and struck while the iron was hot, because City dropped off. And Liverpool were obviously very good, but I don't think they were unbeatable last season in terms of the title race. So my top 4 is quite similar to yours. There's only one change. So I've got Chelsea 4th. I've actually got Arsenal 3rd. Ooh. And I think we'll see a bit of resurgence from Manchester City.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. You can never write them off at all.
No, they're sweating a bit on the fitness of Rodri, but the impact he has on that team is absolutely ridiculous. I think they've made some really decent signings. The reason I have them 2nd is like you said, I just don't quite think the back is as sturdy as it could be. There's also a few, questions about the goalkeeper. They might be getting Donnarumma. They might be starting Trafford in goal, or maybe it still will be Edison. But then I do have Liverpool champions as well, because I just think especially if they get Isak over the line, as much as they themselves have a couple of doubts at the back, and obviously the Konate situation. I just think they're going to be too strong for everyone. What are your thoughts on that, actually, just quickly, on the back for Liverpool? Because even during that Community Shield, there was a couple of people going, wow, look at that performance from Van Dijk. And
yeah, well, do you know what it was? It was just a performance from Van Dijk where he won at his best. And I'm glad I'm seeing it there than on Friday. And it just shows you how good he has been throughout his time at Liverpool, that you notice little performances like this. That's all that was. And also there was missing Gravenberch, which is, he was the player of the year, defensive midfielder. So you take that, it's like taking a Rodri out of a Man City. You're going to feel it. McAllister didn't come on. It was player of the year in the midfield. He didn't come on to 71 minutes. So there's a lot of players to come back to shore up things here. And on top of that, Van Dijk, the main guy, the captain, had a rough game. But they've made some good signings. Well, a signing, Giovanni Leone, from Parma, 18-year-old, 6'5". That's like a good handful. So yeah,
good touch for a big man.
Absolutely. I like a big man. Those set pieces nowadays.
You play with Crouchy.
That's right. It's brilliant. Yeah. Just whip that ball in the big man's head, but
each time. Is that how you celebrate as well?
Yeah, try off and bash.
Right, recap for me your top 5 then, Jermaine.
So, Liverpool number 1, Arsenal 2nd, Man City 3rd, Chelsea 4th, and surprise one from almost getting relegated, Spurs.
Spurs in 5th.
Spursy.
And I have got Liverpool. I've then got Manchester City. I've got Arsenal in 3rd. I've got Chelsea. And then I've backed the boys. Newcastle 5th. Come on.
Oh, hey, man.
Eddie, lad.
Hey.
Get it done, man. So, yeah, what do you think of our predictions? You might think they're absolutely crazy. Give us a text on 81089. You can call us as well. 03717 223344. And let us know as well if you've got a really rogue shout for this season. Doesn't have to be the top 5. Could be who's getting relegated. Could be how Man United finished this season. If you've got a really rogue shout and you want to let us know, you can. And don't forget to let us know as well where your team can strengthen before the window closes. This is Transfer Insiders on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes. 18+, gambleaware.org. Up next, we're going to chat Wolves with talkSPORT commentator James Fielden. Good evening, this is Transfer Insiders on talkSPORT with me, Olly, Clink. I'm alongside Jermaine, Pennant, Bash. You loved whipping them in for Crouchy, didn't you?
And Kenwyne Jones.
Oh, good team.
Good team.
Good team.
Good team.
Good. Who else was in that team?
Oh, yeah, there was me on the right, Matty Everton on the left, Kenwyne or Crouchy sometimes up front, John Walters behind, doing the dogging. And Glenn Whelan in midfield with Dean Whitehead, Ryan Shawcross, Robert Hoof.
Cold Tuesday night, no chance.
Robert Hoof centre backs.
Bloody hell.
Andy Wilkinson right back and Eric Peters left back. Oh,
brilliant.
Come down Britannia on a
Tuesday
night at 8:30 kick.
Oh, that Stoke team's finishing top 5, isn't it? We've just been giving out our top 5s for next season, our predictions. Jermaine has Spurs in 5th. I have my own Newcastle in 5th. Had a couple of texts on that. Toon fan here. I hope we sign Wissa and Samu from Porto. I think they'd be great additions. Then I think we're very strong and we can get 5th. Isak can rot in the reserves for 3 years, so not sitting on the fence there. Evening, lads. Great show. I'm a Liverpool fan. I think the top 5 in order, unfortunately, will be Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, City, Manchester United. Chelsea winning the league.
What, is this a Liverpool fan said
I'm
that?
a Liverpool fan.
He's lying.
Chris,
Come on.
pessimistic Chris.
Even if you don't believe it, you just put your own team at the top.
Why do you think Newcastle 5th?
It's a standard procedure. Come on, Chris, you better.
You had to talk me down for putting Newcastle first as well earlier, didn't you?
Where did you go?
I ended up with 5th, but of course, I want them to do well. Keep them coming in, 810 89 on the text. You can give us a call as well, 03717 223344. Now, on breakfast this morning, talkSPORT's Voice of Football, Adrian Durham had a bit of a pop at Arsenal, not for the first time. He said this season there are no excuses for Mikel Arteta not to win the title.
He doesn't have to go into specific details, Mikel Arteta. When will he learn? Honestly, he's putting the pressure on himself because he knows he's under pressure this season, Mikel Arteta. If they don't win the title, that's surely it. You can't go this long, spending this much money, getting everything you want, really putting yourself out there with big, bold statements about how brilliant you are and how brilliant things are going to be and how it's all going to plan at Arsenal and not win the title. He's just seen Spurs draw. And let's face it, Spurs did draw with PSG. All right, they were 2-0 up and they lost the Super Cup, but they drew with PSG. They've won the Europa League. He's having a look across North London and thinking, hang on a minute, they might be getting something together there. He has got to deliver this season, or I think he is in big trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I had them 3rd in my predictions. You had them 2nd again.
I'm just following the trend.
Yeah. What? That they keep going
second? Yeah.
Yeah. I think Adrian's right in the sense that it will continue to be Mikel Arteta as a nearly man.
Let's just look at it, right? So if you look at Arteta now, it's, like I said, it's 6th season. And you're looking across London. West Ham won the conference. Was it the Europa League?
Conference League.
Conference League. Sorry. Chelsea recently won the Conference League, and then they've won the World Club Cup. Then Spurs have won the Europa League. They're winning trophies. They're bringing in silverware, and he's spending a lot of money. So for him to not win something this season, I think the fans will turn, and then it'll be gone.
What about, just quickly? What about if it was FA Cup and 4th though? Do you know what I mean? Like, surely he's got to go all out.
He's got to win a silver. If you're not winning the league, then okay, you have to win the cup. If you're not winning the FA Cup or you don't win the Champions League, you've got to win silverware. You've got to say, right, okay, we're putting something in our cabinet. If you go beer again, then you're just there. I'm the nearly man, and I cannot take this team any further.
Okay, give us a text on that, 810 89. Let's talk about Wolves now, though. They've had a very curious window, a bit of a worrying one. They've lost a number of key players. So could they be in danger of the drop? We're joined now by talkSPORT commentator and big Wolves fan, James Field. And James, how nervous are you heading into this season, my friend?
Yeah, evening, gents. Nervous, yeah, but at the same time, Wolves have looked like they've been in trouble before, and they were terrible last season, like really terrible, and in the end managed to survive by the best part of 15, 20 points or whatever it was in the end. It wasn't even close. So, but it is a sad state of affairs given where Wolves were. Those 7th place finishes when they got promoted, the likes of Diogo Jota, which has been in everyone's mind recently, Jimenez, Neves, Moutinho, all underpinned by Cody, the Portugal goalkeeper in goal. Like, they've fallen a long way in that time. But yeah, as you say, it's been a worrying window so far.
What about losing? You've lost, I think 2 of your top goal scorers. You've lost Cunha. You've also lost your defender Semedo, and you've also lost Aït-Nouri to Man City, who was also, I think, your maybe 4th top goal scorer. Surely, yes, you've made signings, Strand Larson, but he was already there last season. Surely, there's more worth to be, a big concern here. In that the teams that went down last year were awful, and I don't.
Yeah,
think,
You would know more than me, but Wolves have played traditionally with a back 3 in recent years, and so your wing backs are obviously absolutely massive. And Semedo's gone, Aït-Nouri's gone. They knew Semedo was going for a while, I think, even though they put a contract offer on the table. But they've dragged their heels in terms of replacing them. They've signed David Moller-Wolf, aptly coming in, great name. He's going to play left wing back by the looks of things, or at least in a battle with Hugo Bueno out there, who was on loan at Feyenoord last season. Throughout pre-season, it's been Kiana Hoover playing at right wing back, who was at Auxerre in France last season. But it looks like they're going to sign Jackson Chachoua from Verona in the coming hours or days for around 10 million. That's what the reports are saying. So it looks like they're going to bring in someone on the right. But again, 2 untested players, so it's really unpredictable in that sense. And then, as you say, Cunha, a team like Wolves can't replace him. Like, even if you've got the money, you can't really spend it. Maybe 1, financially because of the rules, and 2, there's not going to be a player of his quality that's going to come to Wolves' level. So that is a massive concern for Wolves, and they're going to have to try and bridge that gap somewhere in terms of creativity and goals. And they haven't had a great pre-season. Fine, you can talk about results and performances not necessarily needing to be as optimum as the actual season, but they need to show a bit more than what they've shown so far, because chances just haven't been created in the amount that they need to be.
James, can I just ask you about the manager, Vitor Pereira? Because I feel like from the outside, he seemed as if he did a really good job, managed to get them out of a bit of trouble. Everyone loved the fact that he was in the pub afterwards, etc., and seemed to inject a bit of confidence into that side. How do the Wolves fans feel about having him in charge?
Oh, they love it. Like, the bond is at least as good as it has been with Nuno in the past. Nuno was a man to sample the Wolverhampton nightlife, though. You got Vitor Pereira going into spoons after every game, drinking pints of Stella. What more can the guy do? Whether he's still doing it after they've lost a few this season when things aren't going so well, it'll be interesting to see. They won 6 in a row towards the end of last season, but traditionally in Wolves' way, they had a terrible end to the season and didn't win in their remaining games after that, so they kind of limped into the summer. But yeah, he's already been spotted out in one of the Desi pubs in Wolverhampton that serve the Indian mixed grills. They love him around there. My sister's mates saw him out there the other night. So he's obviously doing the rounds again. I don't know if he's trying to charm them in pre-season. But just one other interesting point is that there were big restructures off the field in the summer. Sporting director Matt Hobbs left. Domenico Tetti came in, who's taken, I think, more of a technical director role, but he's worked with Vitor Pereira before. So it'd be interesting to see how that dynamic works. But sometimes with Fosun, the owners on Wolves, they just bring big money signings out of nowhere when you're least expecting it as a fan. So I think these last 2 weeks of the window are going to be imperative. But great stat. Since Wolves have been promoted, they've played 24 games in August. They've won 1 game.
Really?
1 out of 24. So August is not our month, right? They don't do August. They start in September. So they're always on the back foot. So they play with 1 less month each year.
Yeah. James, many people are touting Wolves to be either in the relegation or literally fighting for it. Do you feel the same? Or do you think, before the window closed, you can see more incomings, which can kind of evaluate you from that kind of place?
Yeah, Vitor Pereira hasn't done many interviews in pre-season, but I saw some quotes and actually heard him as well, which is a relief because you never quite know whether the quotes are accurate when they're translated. But he said that he was hoping for 2 or 3 signings. So that might be ambitious, but I think if they can get at least 2 in to supplement what they've got, they've got a decent starting 11, right? 2 central midfielders could play for almost any team in the league. Joao Gomez and Andre, especially, who's absolutely exceptional. Strand Larson has scored plenty of goals, had his joint best career in front of goal last season. So they've got a decent starting 11. Beyond that is the problem. And so I think most people at the moment are looking for an optimistic 17th place, which, as I say, is just quite sad considering they were where they were in years gone by. But that's the state of play right now with Wolves. So, again, they're hoping there's 3 worse teams, which there could well be.
James, thanks very much. You offer a pint with Pereira, are you now, or what are you up to?
Just a squash for me.
Fairly, yeah.
No pork squashes?
Season starts tomorrow, James. You've got to be ready for that. Thanks very much indeed, TalkSport commentator James Fielden. There, you ever sampled the Wolverhampton nightlife, Jermaine?
No. I was in and out, pal.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, Birmingham.
Oh, I sampled that bad boy.
Yeah. Big time. Was that when Steve Bruce, didn't he have you in a flat and then you just went into town?
Yeah, I snuck out.
Oh, good man. Get fined for that one as well?
Do you know what? He didn't. He just sent me home.
Oh, really?
Next day in training, he
good
sent
old
me
Brucey.
He was a great guy. He know how to deal with his players.
Good stuff. Right, in just a moment, we're going to take more of your calls. We've been giving our predictions. Send yours in. I've asked you for a rogue shout as well. You can text us on 81089. What rogue shout are you going to put your neck on the line for ahead of the new season? This is TalkSport. This is the Transfer Insiders here on talkSPORT with me, Olly Clink. I'm alongside the former Liverpool winger, Jermaine Pennant. Jermaine, we have a rogue shout on the text on 81089.
What we got?
From Amma, the Burnley fan. Rogue shout, Amorim sacked by the end of December after refusing to change from a 3 centre-back formation after several defeats at Old Trafford again.
That is rogue.
Is it rogue?
Yeah, I can't see him getting the tic-tac.
By Christmas?
Nah.
What, is that just because they've changed their front three, though?
It's because I don't think they're going to do terrible like they were last season. They're going to be better than last season.
Is that
there's going to be an improvement.
Is that because of no European football as well? I think that could be a massive factor.
It's going to help because they're fresh. The legs players are fresher, but I just think going forward they've added quality. We know what Mbeumo does for Brentford. We know what Cunha done at Wolves. So you adding that into your team, you're going to benefit in some way, shape or form.
Yeah.
So you won't get the sack.
Okay, keep them coming in on 81089. Your rogue shouts. It's a decent start that there from...
Good shout, though.
Good shout. Good shout. That one, yeah. It's not rogue enough, actually.
We need more rogue.
More rogue than that. Go on. Put your neck on the line. Put your neck on the line.
It's got to be believable as well.
Give us a rogue shout. Let's go back to the phone lines. Ricky is an Arsenal fan. Ricky, we've been giving out our predictions. Neither me or Jermaine predicted that Arsenal will win the league. What do you make of that?
Arsenal.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, lads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Deflating load of shambles. Absolute shambles.
What,
I don't
Arsenal?
understand it. Yeah. Like, I can't believe more fans aren't saying it. If Eze has a release clause, that deal should have been done. There's no urgency. There's no ruthlessness with Arsenal. And I don't get it. Do you know what? I think Arsenal are going to struggle to finish fourth.
Really? That's
a rogue shout. I like your rogue. I like it.
What? They're not going to finish fourth?
I can't get my head around it. Eze should be there. That should be a done deal. I get from Jermaine's point of view, from the player's point of view, Tottenham would be better. But if he said he would prefer to go to Arsenal, Arteta must have the IQ of a dishcloth because I don't get it.
I understand that, Ricky, but what? So you're saying Eze is the difference between them coming fourth and maybe winning the league?
100%. 100%.
So number 9.
Look how ruthless Liverpool have been. Arsenal should have they got Gyökeres. They should have gone and got Vlahovic. Eze should be there, you know? Well, it's so underwhelming and deflating. I don't understand.
Do you think the rest of the window's been underwhelming as well? Not just missing out potentially on Eze to Spurs?
It's just, to be honest with you, it's Liverpool taking over, isn't it? I think Man United are going to be a lot better. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. I think Arteta, honestly, he only gets a pass if there's someone above him telling him you cannot have these certain players. Because if it's him that's deciding, I can't get my head around it. Like even Grealish, if it's not Eze, Grealish can play on the left, or when Odegaard's having a bad game, he could be a number 10.
Right, okay. So, Ricky, where do Arsenal finish this season then?
Fourth.
So we asked for rogue shouts. We got one.
I think there's a rogue shout of the day.
I spoke to you lads earlier on in the year about last season before Arsenal were going to play Liverpool, and I said I was petrified of Liverpool. And look, it's going to be a 2-horse race, and no one's going to get anywhere near Liverpool. And I just can't believe it. Look how quick they didn't mess around. Look how quickly they've gone out and got their business done. And that should be what are Arsenal doing?
They've done loads of business though, Ricky.
Mendy, you've got Gyökeres.
Yeah, but nothing is. They don't know. These players aren't going to pull up any trees. Like Madueke's a good player, but you need someone like.
You've got the main number 9, Gyökeres, the guy you've been after, the guy you reckon is going to make the difference. Wearing number 14.
He gets injured. What happens then? Havertz.
Good player, good striker, good number 9.
Ricky,
lads, honestly, I think Eddie Nketiah would have scored 50 goals in the Portuguese league. So I ain't got my hopes up.
Go on, Bruce. I know it's a rogue shout and all that.
Yeah, Eze should already be there, is what I'm saying. He should be there. If he wants to be there, he should be there.
All right, Ricky. Cheers for that. Rogue Ricky, mate. Rogue Ricky. What a shout that is. Arsenal 4th, and he's not happy at all with the business. He's fuming about Eze potentially going to Spurs. Give us a call on that. 0371722 3344. We'll bring you more of those in just a moment. Plenty of texts on 81089. But first, Jackson Cole is here from talkSPORT.com. Jackson, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, enjoyed the rogue shouts. My rogue shout is Alexander Isak. I bet you anything he will score against Liverpool on that Monday Night Football for Newcastle.
No
even though he said he doesn't want to play for them again, I think he will score against
You're
Liverpool.
I
am a Liverpool
don't
fan.
even think that's rogue. I just think that's right out bonkers.
What's good? Do you know what happened? It would just be silence. In the saying, it's just silence.
No, it'll be 50,000 Geordies. I'll love him again.
Yeah,
like-
yeah, he's all right, actually, isn't he? Yeah. Jackson, what have you got for us then from their website?
Yeah, so the first story is about Jadon Sancho. Now, Man United could be using him as a make-weight in their bid to sign Carlos Baleba from Brighton. Man United, according to The Independent, are just really determined to get their hands on him. Even though Brighton have issued a not-for-sale stance. Of course, we know not-for-sale isn't always the 100% truth. Every man has his price and all that. And The Independent says that £120 million is Tony Bloom's price for Baleba. But Man United, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do something so simple like that. They want to offer 80 million and then give add-ons in, like drip feed it to them. But they might look to give Brighton Jadon Sancho as a bid to sweeten the deal. But I'm not totally sure that sweetens the deal.
I'm honestly, I'm bamboozled with the way Man United are going on. You know, I think 6 months ago there was cutting staff, taking away sandwiches, to saying that they haven't.
We're going bust by Christmas. Yeah.
And now they're the top spenders in the market, in the transfer. And going to spend even more. Apparently, going to 80 million on Baleba, and only bringing in 20 million from Jadon Sancho. Yeah, it's interesting.
Sancho to Brighton, would that be a good move for him, or is also linked with Roma?
Do you know what? I don't know where would be good for Jadon. I think maybe
I think outside the Premier League.
Maybe back to Dortmund, where he looked comfortable and you saw the best of him, and that's where he got his move really to United from there. So, yeah, probably.
There are just some players who aren't cut out for the Premier League, but it doesn't mean they're not good players. Like Romelu Lukaku, who had loads of success in Italy, and Jadon Sancho, I think, is just another one of those players.
There's a story about Grealish as well that you've got for us.
Yeah, well, we all know that he completed his loan move to Everton, and there's an option to make that permanent for £50 million next summer. But Man City, they are preparing for life without him. They've already taken his number 10 jersey off him and given it to Rayan Cherki, who signed in the summer from Lyon on a 5-year deal. And I'd be really interested to hear what Jermaine thinks about this, because seeing that didn't really sit well with me, because I know Pep Guardiola has made it clear that he doesn't see Jack Grealish as part of his plans going forward. That's no problem. That's his prerogative. Who am I to tell Pep Guardiola how to manage a team? But at the end of the day, Jack Grealish is still a Manchester City player. And what if this loan to Everton doesn't go well, or what if Everton don't want to pay the £50 million
He ends up
asking
with
price?
number 96. Or
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what then?
You just get you kind of deal with it. Basically, you know you're not a part of the plans. You're on loan, looking to play for your future. I think what goes on now at Man City, to him, he's not really bothered about. Someone else has got his number, because sometimes it happens. Sometimes you decide you want to change anyway numbers. You know, you may have a high number, you might go, right, this season I want to be lower. So to his players, it's just numbers. Like I said, he's not going to be their player. Yes, he might be still contracted to City, but as he's doing his trade over across the Merseyside to Everton, he won't really be bothered, because I don't think he sees his future there once this loan finishes anyway.
Anything else for us, Jackson?
Yeah, one more. It's a story involving Newcastle and Liverpool. We all know about Alexander Isak.
This is what I want to hear.
But there's another story about an Isaac Moran, who's a 16-year-old defender. He turned down a contract offer from Liverpool to sign for Newcastle.
Yes, good boy. Good boy.
He is pretty highly rated, this
Huge
guy.
club.
Yeah. He was promoted to the Liverpool under-18 side, even though he's 16. He's captained England at youth level a few times, and well, he's decided that Newcastle, as you say, is bigger than
Is he a
Liverpool.
striker? Put him up front, Eddie.
He's a centre-back.
I'll put him up front anyway, Eddie.
But yeah, with this in mind, I think now that Liverpool have done the decent thing and stepped aside, Newcastle should now do the decent thing and free Alexander Isak, surely.
That's what big clubs do. We let players go and spread their wings and enjoy their careers. We don't stop them in their tracks.
Oh, like Trent Alexander-Arnold, yeah.
Yes.
On Trent, actually, this guy, Isaac Moran, is represented by the same agency that represents Trent Alexander-Arnold, so he's still hurting us, even though he's out of Madrid now.
Oh, brilliant stuff. Just before we let you go, Jackson, this is a bit strange, but we found out the other day that you, by complete chance, live with my cousin.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, he moved in.
I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah, he's a lovely family. He's got my room. I hope he's keeping it tidy now.
What, you've moved out? He's forced you out?
Yes, he has. Yeah. I had to move like 20 miles away just to get away from him.
Where do you live now?
Out in Surrey. Yeah, I've moved out of London.
Wow.
Yeah.
Booted you out of London.
As far away as you can. Was it the washing up? What was it? Why'd you move away from him?
It's just everything about him. Coming in late at night, making a racket, like leaving everything untidy. Like, Oscar.
Sounds like
of my life.
It's like living with Jermaine. Jackson, thanks very much indeed, mate. And enjoy your new life in Surrey. You certainly will if you're not with my cousin. I'll tell you that for free. No, I'm joking. He's a lovely boy. Right, this is Transfer Insiders on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes, 18+, gambleaware.org. Next up, we're going to discuss another side who are difficult to predict this season, Leeds United.
You know what that music means. The NFL returns to Wembley in October I'm not going to do the accent for the whole thing, as the Los Angeles Rams take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and our competition to win VIP tickets is now open. That's right, we're giving you the chance to win 6 seats in a private box at Wembley Stadium with full hospitality plus $5,000 spending money. Here's how to enter: 18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word cash to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission, or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 338. All entries must be received by the 25th of August at 11 p.m. I'm going to try that fast advert voice now. This is a TalkSport Limited promotion run on TalkSport Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. Good luck. We've been asking fans for their rogue shouts because we gave our predictions a bit earlier for the top 5. We're going to predict the bottom 3 a bit later on, but we want rogue shouts from you. So far, someone said, well, they say Amarim's going to be sacked by the end of December. We've got one here from Mohammed. He says, rogue shout: with no European football, Manchester United will win 2 domestic cups. Is that the only thing I would say to that, Mohammed, is I think they'll focus on the league more than anything, won't they?
Yeah,
because they've won the domestic cups recently. So I don't know.
They're definitely going to concentrate on the league.
Yeah. There's been a text that wound you up a bit, Jermaine.
A little bit, yeah. I think it's this
as well on 8-10.
I'm sure he doesn't believe this. It says Man United signing relegation battling players. Why would that help do anything but fight relegation again? Plus, none are better than Garnacho, Sancho and Rashford. No other manager would take Mbeumo and Cunha over Rashford, Sancho and Garnacho. Well, Cunha scored 15 goals last season, and you say in a relegation battling team. Well, then if you put him in a good team, therefore he should do better. And Mbeumo scored 18 goals, and I think even more. He scored more than Rashford, Sancho and Garnacho all together. So what math are you mathing to say that Mbeumo is not better than those 3 in your team?
Yeah, come on. That's a rogue shout.
That is a rogue shout.
I think every manager.
And what it says surely better managers would get them to perform. Not every manager has got 70 or 80 million to buy a winger because that's not their intended priority. I'm sure if Newcastle needed a winger and they had 80 million to spend, and when they would be like, oh, that could be a good signing because he's a good player. So,
he's one of the players on their list that apparently turned them down. So yeah, I mean, he had a lot of suitors, and rightly so. He's had a brilliant season last time out with Brentford. So I think it's a bit unfair to call them relegation battling players. Right, let's go to the phone lines. Let's chat to Naz, who's a Manchester United fan. Naz, we're doing some predictions. You got any rogue shouts for us?
Well, my rogue shout's not such a rogue shout from last season. My basic perspective is we're all forgetting Nottingham Forest. The view from most football pundits and fans is you start from the back. In my opinion, they've got the best 2 centre-backs parallel to Liverpool and Arsenal. And Sellers in goal and Chris Wood up front. And they haven't lost Morgan Gibbs-White, and they've added. So for me, I think they're going to finish in the top 5.
Top 5?
The thing that worries me is that I think he's a good player, but I think Chris Wood had one of those standout seasons that you just see some players have. I don't think that was obviously his best ever scoring season. And I don't think you're going to see him get like 18s and close to 20s.
He's not going to crack on again this season, you don't think?
He would do well, but I don't think he's going to match those numbers again.
No Elanga as well. He's obviously gone to Newcastle as well. Naz, where do Manchester United finish next season?
Can I do my top 6?
Yeah, go for it.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you guys in terms of your top 5. I think United are going to finish 6th. And in terms of the top 5, seriously, you might laugh at me. I think I agree with the Arsenal fan. Arsenal will probably finish 4th.
Really?
God, Arsenal are getting no love. No love.
Purely from Jermaine, purely from a point of view that I think psychologically they haven't got over the line. City have, Liverpool now have. So I think it's going to be between City and Liverpool. I think Chelsea are just playing above themselves. When you get into the league and the Champions League now, then I think they're going to struggle. And 1926 is because you guys already alluded to no European football, no distraction. They can focus on anything they want, and I think Sesko is going to be an outstanding centre forward.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal fall again. They're having no love. Naz, thanks very much for your call, by the way. 03717 22 I do agree about the non-European football. We saw it with Spurs under Ange. They came fifth. You know, we saw it last season with Newcastle. They managed to come fifth. It is a factor. I just think the only thing with Man United is that they have more of a mountain to climb, in my opinion, than Newcastle did and Spurs did.
Yeah, for where they are.
Yeah.
And what I do on the last score that I agree with is that each season with zero trophy, each season Arsenal don't win the league, it is of more of a talking point and pressure. We're all talking about it. The fans know and feel it. The players. So when sometimes it gets to that crunch period, it's not just all about it. There's a lot more riding on it because they feel it because of, you know, it's like Spurs never win a trophy. How people talk about it. Everyone feels it. We feel it as players. And Arsenal are going to be exactly the same.
I just think if you
add a little 2-5% off pressure.
But we
weighs a lot.
We talked a bit earlier about which squad was the most ready, didn't we? You know, and actually when you look at Arsenal, I'm not saying they've got the best squad because I think at the moment that's Liverpool and maybe even ahead of them is arguably City. But in terms of being the most ready across the board, they've got strength and depth now.
If
they really do.
Yeah, I agree. If the transfer window closed right this second, Arsenal would probably say, right, great bit of business. We're happy. We're good where we're at.
It's just the quality of those players.
Quality over quantity.
Exactly. Yeah, isn't quite the same. But having that strength and depth can be a massive weapon if you're in a title race. Of course, got a few more rogue shouts on 81089. Alex says Chelsea to win the league. Strong summer. Some solid signings. A few people saying Chelsea to win the league as their rogue shout. We want Roger, by the way. Come on. Go on, stick your neck out for this. Chris says Everton to get European football.
I like that.
That's more like it, Chris.
I like that.
We like that, Chris.
Do you know what? That's rogue, but you kind of see it. I like it.
See it, can't you?
Grealish
in there.
Yeah.
Moyes.
Just they look like they're all right. I watched them in the pre-season summer series where it is. They looked okay.
Oh, I've got a really rogue one here. I like this a lot. Do you know what? It's so rogue they haven't put a name on the text. Always put your name on the text, please. 81089. Bournemouth will finish in the top 6.
Yeah, that is massively.
Is that too rogue?
Yeah, because they've lost about 14 players.
They've lost a lot, and they've almost lost their whole back line.
Because you've got to, and not just players, very good players. Let's just talk about it. They've lost one to Liverpool, who've won the Premier League. They've lost one to Paris Saint-Germain, who are the champions of Europe. And then they've won to Real Madrid, the giants of football.
It's serious cash. But
that's 3 players gone to probably 3 of the best teams in the world.
Yeah, I think top 6 for Bournemouth is a massive shout, massive ask, and will be very, very difficult. Do you know what? We're going to chat about them a bit later on the show. We'll be joined by Chris Latcham, big Bournemouth fan. So we'll put that to him, shall we? We've had one of the roguish shouts of all time on the show earlier. What do you think, Bournemouth top 6? And we'll see if he agrees a bit later. Keep those coming in. They're very, very entertaining. And we'll read some more out. Get your calls into 03717 22 Don't forget, tomorrow morning you can hear the full interview with Liverpool boss Arne Slot. We played a bit of it earlier. He spoke to our very own Danny Murphy for a full sit-down interview ahead of our exclusive commentary of Liverpool against Bournemouth tomorrow night on talkSPORT. The Premier League is back, baby. So don't forget, you can hear that from 8 o'clock tomorrow morning on talkSPORT. Right, in just a moment, we're going to be chatting Bournemouth and we'll talk about our predictions as to who is going to go down. This is Transfer Insiders on talkSPORT.
Basketballs are red, baseballs are white, American footballs are brown, and tennis balls are yellow. We don't even think about it really, but the story behind the tennis ball is actually quite interesting and even involves Sir David Attenborough. I know. Well, here's the tale. Tennis is widely known to be a French sport. It dates back to the 12th century when people used handmade balls, and it was then called tennis, which is the verb to hold in French. And people used some pretty wacky material to make the balls with: cork, wool, chalk, animal fur, and even human hair. A few centuries on, Germany got dead into the tennis too, but wanted to make a few modifications to the ball to make it a bit more effective. Around this time, an American chemist had just created something called vulcanized rubber. Out of that, people started developing air-filled rubber balls, which were properly bouncy, but either red or grey in colour. These were manufactured in Melton Mowbray. That's right, the home of the pork pie. One problem, the balls kept on breaking on impacts with the racket. The call of "new balls please" seemingly coming over every other point. Step forward English lawyer and tennis enthusiast John Moyer Heathcote, who suggested balls be covered in flannel to stop them from degrading. And thus the modern-day tennis ball was born. But these were white or black, so how did they become yellow? Well, in 1967, the controller of BBC Two, one Sir David Attenborough, decided the corporation should show Wimbledon on colour TV. He got his wish, and it was wide into people's homes across the country. The only sticking point: the white balls were nearly impossible to see on the screen. So the International Tennis Federation, sensing an opportunity, started developing a new ball that would be visible even without the need for 4K LED displays. Not that anyone had that in the late 60s. After rigorous testing, they came up with the colour optic yellow and decided every ball be coated in that colour from there on in. And there you have it. Tennis balls are yellow, all because Sir David Attenborough wanted to watch Wimbledon from the comfort of his own front room. You could say the ITF aced it.
A very good evening. This is Transfer Insiders with me, Olly, Clink, alongside the former Liverpool winger, Jermaine Pennant. We're live on talkSPORT. It's Christmas Eve, the day before the Premier League kicks off tomorrow, live on this station. Liverpool against Bournemouth. Plenty of action that will keep you across throughout the weekend as well. In just a moment, we're going to discuss our predictions as to who might go down and what some of those teams who could be in the mix need before the window slams shut at the start of September, let me tell you. Keep your road shouts coming in as well on 810, 89. We're really enjoying them. Best one so far for you, Jermaine? Is it what, Everton and you? Jim White, so stupid.
Thanks, mate.
I think Everton's a good one.
Yeah, Everton.
Yeah.
Everton. I can see it though.
But that's the thing; it's kind of believable, but it's rogue.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, do you know what?
Right, Bournemouth top six was too much.
Yeah,
that was too much.
Yeah.
But we want you to do that. Put your neck on the line. This is Transfer Insiders on talkSPORT. Okay, let's go to the phone lines this lunchtime in the 17th floor of the news building. I'm not going to do it. It puts Jermaine off as well, so there's no point doing it. Listen to him chuckling away. Jake is an Arsenal fan. Jake, just now we were talking about the fact Arsenal aren't getting a lot of love. You've had two callers say they're going to finish fourth. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, thanks for having me on, guys, first time caller.
Legend. Thank you.
I think The previous Arsenal caller, first of all, he's miles off. He sounded more like a Bristol Rovers fan than he did a Gooner. And I think him finishing fourth is totally diabolical with what you've just said there about the squad we've got. I think we are much more, we've got much more strength in depth around all the positions, from keeper to the front. We've got the number 9 in. Going back to Jermaine's point, he said quite a while ago about the London clubs winning trophies. Spurs won a second-tier competition and finished 17th in the league. Yes, we were trophyless again, and third time coming second. I think where we've come from Arteta taking over and finishing 8th twice, and then I think 5th, and then the first Premier League where he comes second, we were probably, shock contenders to win the league, and then we fell short with 10 games to go. So the past 2 seasons have probably been where we've been better prepared to win the competitions. But only one team can win the league. Only one team can win the Champions League. We blatantly missed out an opportunity in January this year to get a number 9 in to finish the season strong and potentially keep going horn to horn with Liverpool for league. We didn't do that. I think that was a plan behind getting Gyökeres in or someone in the summer. I think, look, as an Arsenal fan, I'm definitely wary that if Arteta doesn't win a trophy this year, being one of the big ones, I think a Carabao Cup and FA Cup, brilliant, is silverware, but we've won the most FA Cups. Carabao is maybe less thought of.
It's got to be the league, hasn't it, or the Champions League? It's got to be.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to be one of the 2 big ones. And I think, look, that's going to be really tough, really, really tough. Lots of teams have strengthened, but so have we. And it will depend, I think, on Gyökeres definitely being able to sort of fit in to our style of play and playing to his strength. So, yeah, that's where I think we're at.
I think the league, and the Champions League, but what I'm saying, I think that an FA Cup would give him a little bit more breathing space. Going trophyless again, I think that would see the end of him. I think the fans would turn and make so much racket.
I mean, Glasner's won the same at Crystal Palace now. FA Cup, Community Shield.
But this is what I mean. And this is in his second season.
Yeah.
You've got Slot coming in winning his first season. How long do you trust a process of getting the same outcome?
Jake, great call. 03717223344. We've got David as well. David, I believe you've got a bit of a rogue shout for us. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, gents. Hope you're well. Yeah, I've got a rogue shout. My rogue shout is for Jermaine Pennant to get a par at the Shire when he plays golf next.
Get a what? Get a par?
Yeah.
Have you played that golf course? Jesus. That is a rogue shout, mate.
He's likely to get a bogey, Dave.
I followed you the other month, Jermaine. When I was in the group behind you when you were playing with Jermaine and another guy. I can't remember his name.
Bobby.
You were shocking,
Bobby.
mate. Shocking.
Yeah, just you know what? It was like Van Dijk, just one of those bad days at the office. Conditions.
Is he a slow player as well, Dave? Is he a slow player? Or?
He's slow. He asked me if I had any golf balls for sale on the 3rd hole.
You've got to be slow when you're in the woods looking for your balls every 2 minutes.
Oh, great stuff. Any rogue chats for the football, Dave, or just Jermaine to actually play some decent golf?
Well, one of my rogue shouts, and this is a bit very rogue, I support Ipswich, but I think after 10 games, Tottenham are going to be top of the league.
Really? Well, we saw that with Ange.
They did that with Ange.
We saw that with Ange, didn't we? Great call.
I've had a look at their first 10 fixtures, Tottenham, and I think they could win maybe 7 or 8 of them games.
There we go.
That's rogue. Unbelievable.
That's really rogue. Dave, thank you very much indeed, Jermaine.
Fans will be liking you.
What's more rogue, Tottenham top of the league, or you getting a par?
No, I can get a par. I think Tottenham's rogue.
Tottenham is rogue.
That's rogue.
That is rogue. Keep those coming in on 810, 8-9. Right, we're going to chat Leeds now because Daniel Farke, I was seeing him talking the other day, Jermaine, about the fact that his side weren't quite ready for the Premier League. I think within that time they have brought in Dominic Calvert-Lewin to the squad, which could change things, of course. Let's speak to Dara Cunningham from the Leeds That podcast. Dara, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks, lads. Thanks very much for having me on.
Pleasure.
Yeah, no, thank you for joining us. What are you making then of Dominic Calvert-Lewin coming in? How do you feel about that as a signing?
Yeah, I'll be honest, it was a bit of a surprise. I think we were waiting for the likes of a Muniz or some form of stellar signing, a marquee signing. So a little bit underwhelmed, if I'm honest. His track record over the last 4 seasons hasn't exactly been pushing the boundaries of the top scorers in the league. But at the same time, we all know that if he's fit and he's firing, then he's a top class player, and he's played multiple times for England. He's proven that. Also, a new start at a new club can do wonders for players too. So, I'm quietly optimistic about the whole season, and I'm still not convinced he'll lead the line, to be honest. I think that getting him on a free, I think, is really good business. But there could well be another signing to come in on top of it.
Yeah, I think the key with this signing, yes, it's a free, so that's a bonus. But it's if you keep him fit. If you can keep a Calvert-Lewin fit, then he will cause defenders problems. He's got the physique to manhandle strikers. He's good in the air. So pacey, likes to run behind. But if you keep him fit, that is literally the main priority for you.
He's been involved in scraps before. He's been involved in those kind of situations. You only think about immediately that goal against Crystal Palace that essentially kept Everton up when they were under Frank Lampard. So he knows what it's all about as well. New goalkeeper as well. For Leeds, Dara. And I mean, for me, from the outside, that feels like the right thing and the right area to have changed.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a no-brainer from the very start. And it's interesting because Jermaine just mentioned there the physique. There seems to be a profile across all the players we've brought in where it's big, tall, combative players. So it seems to be we're going for a certain style of player at a certain height profile and a certain age profile for the here and now to help us this season. Most of the players we've brought in are roughly 26 years of age. They're all over 6 foot. And they're all vastly experienced in top leagues. So I think what you're seeing there across the board, and particularly with the goalkeeper who played a great season with Lille last season, is exactly that, a big imposing goalkeeper who's going to command his box and ably assisted by the other additions we've made.
Yeah, I've got to say, just quick, as a Newcastle fan, I think Sean Longstaff's a really good signing, and I think you've got him pretty cheap as well, given
13 million.
Yeah, 13 million. His experience and what he'll bring in terms of running and physicality, like you say, I think will be a really good addition.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's going to be a big one for us, and he's one of 4 in midfield. I think our midfield is going to surprise a lot of people this season. We were actually live on air doing a podcast when the news came through about Sean Longstaff. It was one of our listeners actually told us, and I jumped up. Because I really thought, someone like Sean Longstaff, he's a 7.5 out of 10 every single game. You know what you're getting. But since then, we brought in Anton Stack as well.
Good player.
And he looks unreal. Like, in fairness, if you want a rogue shout, I was watching the show beforehand, rogue shout, Anton Stack for team of the season. He is special. 6'4" centre midfielder. No one is going to want to play against him. He's going to barrel past players, and he looks the business. But he'll be competing with Ethan Ampadu and Ao Tanaka. So between the 4 of them to fill those 3 midfield slots, I think Leeds are really going to be competitive in that midfield place.
Do you think out of the teams that came up that you would say that you are the most better suited for the Premier League or the better chances of staying in the Premier League?
Oh, absolutely, Jermaine. I mean, look, you know what Ellen Road is like. You've played there.
Yeah.
You were there. You actually, I'm not sure if you know this, actually. You probably haven't been back to Leeds much. Leeds fans have a lot of time for you. You put in a great shift for us that season, and there's not a Leeds fan who has a bad word to say about you. So you should come back and visit us this season, because I think you'd be...
Do my best.
I think you'd be pleasantly surprised at the reception you get. Leeds fans are very fond of you. But no, to answer your question, Leeds are miles ahead of the other 2 clubs. Miles ahead.
Okay.
I wrote down some stats before we came, right? 100 points last season, 95 goals scored, 30 goals conceded. I mean, everyone goes on about Burnley, 16 goals conceded, which was fantastic, but 30 is also fantastic.
Yeah.
We finished 24 points ahead of Sunderland. Like, that's a totally different zone to where Sunderland are. So, yeah, Leeds are streets ahead of both Burnley and Sunderland, and for them to try and bring in the players is going to be very difficult for them. Although saying that, 2 good clubs, again, difficult to go there, but you add in the quality that Leeds have already with Fortress Ellen Road, and what I will give is give Farkas some credit here. The players he's brought in, not only do they have a physical profile, they seem to have a mental profile as well. Ethan Ampadu was quoted as saying last week that every one of them feels they have something to prove to the rest of the league team, Leeds players. That they're not coming in thinking, you've brought me in to save you and I'm the superstar. It's actually, you've brought me into a championship winning team and I have to prove that I'm worthy of a slot. And I think no matter how good you are, if you have that type of attitude, it goes a long, long way to winning football games.
Dara, thank you very much indeed, mate.
Cheers, Dara.
Cheers, guys.
There we go. Dara Cunningham from the Leeds That podcast. He even gave us a rogue shout, which I love. Anton Stack to be in the team of the season. We've got a few more, by the way, Jermaine. There's some interesting ones, because a lot of people have been saying that West Ham to get relegated, but we want rogue shouts. I mean, a few people have mentioned that already. There's one here. West Ham to finish in the top 7 at least. Fulkrug injury-free. Lone players Ward-Prowse and a Gerd makes us dangerous. Again, West Ham top 7. I think that's a good rogue shout.
Good rogue. Not a bad day.
Not a bad rogue shout. This is rogue.
10th.
This is rogue. This might win the day. Tom in Stratford. Haaland to score less than 8 Premier League goals. He puts brackets, pens don't count. Of course they count. Haaland to score less than 8.
That's just ridiculous.
No, come on. He might have scored 8 within the first 4 games with the way he goes.
He might score 8 against Wolves.
It's Tom just trying to wind us.
Yeah, I can't take that rogue shout because that's just silly.
It's too rogue.
Yeah.
You've gone a bit too far there, Tom. But we want the rogue shouts. Keep them coming in. There's one more here. My shout is Scott Parker will keep Burnley up. And Leeds, Brentford and Sunderland will go down. That's from Colin. Well, I'll tell you what, Colin, in just a moment, we're going to do our own predictions for the bottom 3. Will Leeds be in there? Having had that chat with Dara. This is Transfer Insiders on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes 18+, gambleaware.org. This is Transfer Insiders here on talkSPORT with me, Olly, Clink. I'm alongside Jermaine, Pennant. Oh, we've had some more rogue shouts, Jermaine. You can judge these ones. What about this? Al, the Arsenal fan, rogue one for you. 2 teams will go undefeated in the league this season.
No one's going undefeated.
Arsenal and Liverpool. Yeah, mate, Liverpool are losing in the second week, mate, St James's Park. Isak, hat-trick.
And then Arsenal are going to lose in the third week against Liverpool.
Sorry about that, Al. Too roguish shout. Is it? I mean, that's not. It's not the roguish shout we've had tonight.
It's not the roguish, but it's
only happened once, though, hasn't it? For one team. So, yeah, a bit tricky. Another one here. West Ham sack Graham Potter by Christmas and replace him with Frank Lampard, and we finish 17th.
The thing is, that's not rogue. That's well can happen, as in higher chance and possibility. Yeah. There's nothing rogue about that.
Keep them coming in. We're really enjoying them. 810 89. Now you can give us a call on 03717 223344. Now we've been promising this, our predictions for the bottom three. We did the top five earlier. Let me see if I can remember yours. You did Spurs in fifth.
Yep.
Then you had Chelsea fourth.
Yep.
You had Man City third, Arsenal second, Liverpool first.
Correct.
I had Newcastle fifth. Come on soon. I had Chelsea fourth. I had Arsenal third, and then I had Man City second and Liverpool first. We're going to do the bottom three now, though. Jermaine, let's start with 20th. Who you go for?
Sunderland.
Are you?
Yeah.
This is interesting because I feel like, you just said to Dara there, the Leeds fan, that a lot of people are maybe saying out of that three that have come up, Leeds are the kind of best suited. But have some people got maybe a bit carried away with the business Sunderland had done? And they're going, actually, oh no, I think Sunderland could be the team that do stay up.
They've made, 10 signings, and to get them to gel, that's a team. That's a full squad. You put your goalkeeper in that, there you go, you got your full team. They made 10 signings. For them to then all of a sudden gel, to then be, I know some of them have played in the Premier League already, it's going to take time. They're going to learn a new structure, a new way of playing, everything's going to be, it's going to take a lot of time.
Granit Xhaka in as captain, it's a decent signing.
That is a good signing, yes, but he's not Superman.
Can't stop everything.
He's a central defensive midfielder. He cannot stop every single attack that comes his way. He's not going to then start creating attacks for his team, left, right, and centre. And I just think, if you're 24 points off the championship in the Premier League is a huge difference. Unfortunately, for the top teams and middle teams, there's a big difference when you're playing, the Premier League in the car and you play against the championship team. To finish 24 points off the team that's got promoted, that's a big difference, and you're a big way of the team of being championship. So that in itself,
it's a big step.
It's a big step. Then to go into the Premier League to have then 10 players who would never play together and all it. It's asking a lot. It's asking a lot.
Also, a lot of those signings go to AFCON, a lot of them.
Well, I know.
Will be off to AFCON too. So that could have an effect come January as well. So I've actually got Burnley last in my prediction. I just think that they were built on really solid foundation last season. They were really
clean sheets,
defensively solid. I think firstly, obviously, the quality goes up in the Premier League, but also they've lost a few of those players. Egan Riley's gone to Marseille. And James Trafford obviously has gone to Manchester City. Yeah. So you're breaking up that consistency of that back four, back five, if you want, if you include the goalkeeper. Just think that's going to be really tricky for Scott Parker, especially given the fact that they weren't the most prolific scorers anyway, and that is so difficult to do as well.
So that's where the thing is. Everything goes up times 10. So if you're not prolific in the Championship, you're going to find it even harder in the Premier League. You're keeping clean sheets, and that's what's kept you safe. You're not going to keep that many clean sheets in the Premier League.
Who have you got 19th then?
I've got Burnley.
You've got Burnley. Okay, so I've got Sunderland 19th.
Yeah, I've got Burnley. So I'm going Sunderland 20th, Burnley 19th.
I've been quite kind to Sunderland there as a Newcastle fan as well.
You've been very kind. I'm shocked there.
Yeah.
And this is no disrespect to Sunderland, and I just.
It's just on the evidence of the last two seasons. Why would you not predict that?
If you look at Southampton, you would say probably Southampton are a better team than Sunderland. If they was to go head-to-head now, you'd probably say Southampton may, and they got absolutely whooped in the Premier League.
Yeah. Do you think it'd be that bad for Sunderland? Do you think they'll have a Southampton season?
Well, they've made, like I said, they made good signings, and it's all about them gelling and working in time to be a better Southampton, but I do see them getting relegated.
Okay, very quickly, 18th.
This is a tough one, but I'm going to go with Wolves.
I've got Wolves in 18th.
I'm going with Wolves.
We weren't talked round a bit earlier by James Field and Wolves.
No, James came on, tried to give it the whole spiel. Sorry, James.
Losing Cunha, losing Aït-Nouri, two of your better players. I find Vitor Pereira, I think he did a good job keeping them up, but it wasn't that difficult.
Semedo as well was a good player.
Semedo's a decent player. I just think they've lost a lot, and the signings are so unproven. And actually, I can see Leeds doing it. I can see them staying in the Premier League. And unfortunately, one's got to go. And I think the other three involved will be potentially West Ham and maybe Brentford. But I think Brentford will actually be all right. And I just think out of those three, Wolves could be the one to drop.
Yeah.
So there we go. So actually, we picked the same bottom three, just in a bit of a different order. There we go. Give us your thoughts on that, 8, 10, 8 to 9. Right, let's chat about Bournemouth, shall we? Let's bring in the Bournemouth supporter and broadcaster, Chris Latcham. Chris, how you doing, mate? You okay? Oh,
can we hear you?
Have we got Chris there? We can see Chris.
We can see Chris.
Looks fantastic.
There we go, Chris.
There we are. Oh, we've got you,
Hello.
Chris. There we go. You're on mute, Chris. Nice one, Chris. Bournemouth, talk to me, because how worried are you, given the fact that 3 out of the back 4 have all gone, albeit for amazing money, and they've all got big moves. But as a Bournemouth fan, are you a bit concerned?
No, I wouldn't say I'm worried. I don't want to hark on about, we all know where Bournemouth have come from, but you don't have to go back too far to, fans chucking money in a pot to keep the club alive, almost going out of the Football League, almost going out of extinction. And I don't think whatever happens next season, Bournemouth will be relegated. I don't think they will. But you do want to build on the best season Bournemouth have ever had in the Premier League, the most wins they've ever had in the Premier League. But you mentioned it there, they've sold Zabani, they've sold Dean Howson, they've sold Milos Kerkez, kept the goalkeeper. He's now at Arsenal. We only had him on loan. And the only one that leaves out of the back 4-5 is 34-year-old right back Adam Smith. So, yes, I think it's a great unknown, but they've invested a little bit. I'd like to see them invest a little bit more. You mentioned the money they brought in, 150 million, something like that. They've only spent 74 million pounds replacing them. So it feels like they've still got more in the kitty, and it feels to me like they need to go out and spend even more to strengthen that team further.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not like you've lost players to go to a mediocre team, or you've lost some, good average players. You've lost some world-class talent. Yeah. Like I said, they've all gone on to massive clubs. Arsenal, Liverpool, Real Madrid, PSG. So that signals how good the players are. So to lose,
and how good the scouting was, Jermaine.
Yeah, to lose so much though, to lose so many of those talented players, surely there comes a part where we've lost a core of the strength and the high talent. You brought in 2-3 signings, and one of them's a goalkeeper. So surely you're thinking...
Yeah, so you lose Kepa.
Yeah.
Well, you lose Kepa, you bring in Jordi Petrovic. I would say that's about par. You've lost a decent goalkeeper, not a great goalkeeper, and you brought in a goalkeeper who, to me, hasn't yet proven that he's better than decent. Hopefully he can this season, we'll see. The left back from Rennes, Adrian Truffert, we've been eyeing him up for a long time, because everybody knew that Kerkez was going. Everybody pretty much knew that he was going to be playing at Anfield this season. So Adrian Truffert played for France in the Olympics, got all the way to the Olympic final last summer. He's a talent. And if the Bournemouth scouting system is still working like it was before, maybe they've gone and unearthed another gem. And he was only £14 million. The one that they've signed this week is Bafodé Diakite, centre-back from Lille. I don't know a great deal about him. So again, you're sort of hoping that the scouts have done their due diligence. But all of that comes back to the point that Richard Hughes was in charge of Bournemouth's scouting network when those players, Zabani, Howson, Kerkez, were signed. And Richard Hughes has left. He's now at Liverpool. So how much of that knowledge did he leave behind? We're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, thank you very much indeed, mate.
Cheers for having us on, boys.
Cheers, Chris.
There we go.
So it's a bit of an unknown for Bournemouth then. They're going into the season unknown. Are we going to be safe? Are we going to be mid-table? Are we going to push him further like last season?
Do you know what? The only other thing as well, and when we could have mentioned there with Chris, is the fact they have kept the manager. And he's a very, very good manager.
Yeah. And Semenyo.
And Semenyo.
Semenyo's a
good, new contract.
Good,
yeah. So actually, at the top end of the pitch, they're very decent, aren't they? It's just going to be at the back whether they can shore it up, having lost all that talent. Right, up next, here on Transfer Insiders, we'll take more of your rogue shouts and we'll look at some of the bigger transfer stories from the last 24 hours. It's Transfer Insiders on talkSPORT.
This is the Transfer Insiders on talkSPORT. I'm Olly Clink. I'm alongside the former Liverpool winger, Jermaine Pennant. This is your whistle-stop tour of the biggest transfer news of the day. Jermaine, one story I have to talk to you about is Jacob Ramsey moving to Newcastle United from Aston Villa. I'm a Newcastle fan, of course. I really like this. I really like this sign. I think
good, talented young player.
Yeah, absolutely. And
exciting.
And also, I was just getting a bit worried about that midfield because, you know, we were heading into a season where Joe Willock's picked up an injury. We've sold Sean Longstaff, and you've got Lewis Miley, who's a very talented young player, but he was the only backup to what is a stacked midfield. It's one of the best in the league in Joel Linton and Bruno and Tonali. But I think Jacob Ramsey is the perfect signing because I think he offers something a bit different to all of those. I think he's someone Eddie Howe can develop really well. I just think it's amazing, though, that once again we're in this strange situation where Aston Villa, because of PSR, are having to sell to one of their direct rivals. It's crazy, isn't it?
This PSR needs to go out the window. I think if clubs can generate money and they've got money to spend, just let them spend it. It's in the club's interest to make money some way, somehow, to be able to spend. Forget about this PSR. I know. Look, it may benefit the big teams, but I'm sure the smaller teams as well are feeling the effects of PSR.
Oh, absolutely. Do you know what it is? I mean, it was brought in what, 2013, 14, and essentially the rules. There should be rules, right? I completely agree with that. I don't think that clubs should just be able to, you know, get taken over and then they just buy the league. I really don't think that as much of a Newcastle fan. I just think that the rules need updating because it
need tweaking, to some
and
shape.
do you know what as well? It takes away from so much as a fan as well. And even as a Newcastle fan who's delighted that Ramsey's coming in a weird way, I feel a bit for Villa fans because you're losing someone who's come through your academy. And we had it with Elliot Anderson, who's gone to Forest. Now, you might look at that and go, well, he got a bit more game time. He maybe wouldn't have got that at Newcastle in the same way at Forest. But it's just still frustrating because that's what football's about, isn't it? It's about fans watching their own...
watching the best players possible come to the league and in their team, giving them joy week in, week out. So you definitely need tweaking and addressing and changing in the future. But for Jacob Ramsey, I think, you've got a great little player on there. He's kind of reminding me, if you come to Newcastle, it's going to be like a Ben Arthur.
Oh, really? Okay. Really?
You see that in Jacob.
That impact?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I mean, he's an absolute cult hero.
Yeah.
Atom Ben Arthur.
Yeah.
Oh, what a player. Did you ever play against him?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. Obviously, I think it was for Liverpool he would have played.
Yeah. Was he special?
He was good. Yeah, you lost, but he was good.
Look, you had to get that in.
I actually set Craig Bellamy up.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
He played for Liverpool. Yeah.
Oh wow. Well done you.
Yeah.
Well done you. You find the highlights somewhere. Anyway, should we move on to another story of the day? Eberechi Eze. Now this is getting quite interesting now because obviously he was linked with Spurs, I think, a bit earlier on in the window. Then it looked like Arsenal were going to come in and he was one of their targets and they had a high amount of interest in him. Now it's maybe looking like he could be heading on to Spurs. How do you feel about the way Arsenal have operated themselves in this situation? They've done a lot of business, but do you feel that Eze would kind of be that last little piece of the puzzle for Arsenal? Do you think they should have maybe tried a bit harder to get him over the line?
I won't say that the final piece of the jigsaw because they've already got a recognised number 10 in Odegaard. He's not an out-and-out left winger. The way Arsenal play with their wingers, they've got Saka on one and the Pace on the other, like a Martinelli, Madueke. So they've kind of got that already. Will he make a difference? Absolutely. He's a fantastic player, but it's not the be on end all. It's not the missing piece that they need. What they needed was a number 9, which they've got. So anything else now is a bonus and to help the team and the strength and the depth moving forward.
The other thing is as well, I mean, we wish him well, but obviously with the injury to James Maddison, if Eze goes to Spurs, all right, he might not be fighting for a title, but that's a Spurs side that you'd expect it to be at least fighting in cup competitions, etc. They've just won a trophy, and I'm sure it'll be within the brief of Thomas Frank to go on and do that as well. Eze could be the main man at Spurs in the position that he wants to play in, which is the number 10. Okay, he can play on the left, but
he'd be given that role and the chance to just absolutely shine in that Spurs team.
Yeah, and that's probably, if he does end up going Spurs, that will be the sole decision why he joined them, because he can play in his single position where he most likely to play and he enjoys. And he's going to know that he's not really fighting anyone for that position.
Yeah.
You know that he's not going to be sitting on the bench waiting for his turn like he would if he went to Arsenal, because Odegaard's the captain, and unless he does something wrong and he has gone a bad spell of games, probably Eze will probably be on the bench in that position. Where Spurs now, he's not. He's going to be the main guy. A lot of eyes on him, and he's thinking, right, let me help and let me carry this team, which for him is probably like, oh, I like the sound of that. That sounds really good.
Yeah. Another player I want to ask you about, by the way, is Jadon Sancho, potentially going to Roma for around 20 million. So it would be, a huge cut in terms of Manchester United, in terms of what they signed him for, which I think was around 73 million pounds. But it just hasn't worked. Obviously, he was on loan at Chelsea last time out. They paid a fee to Manchester United in order to send him back. So it just has not worked at all for Jadon Sancho. Would heading away from the Premier League be the right thing for him?
I think so. I think so. There's something about the Premier League, or maybe the teams it was at, but when a team's paying money to send you back, that kind of says a lot. And I think European football is a little bit easier. It's not as chaotic. It's not as intense as the Premier League. We've seen that with many players go abroad and flourish. So I think for Jadon, I think that would be Europe out of the Premier League probably would be the best thing for him for his career.
Yeah, I agree. And it's almost you want to see him end up back at Dortmund again, don't you? Because
that would be
at home
fit,
there. Yeah,
because he's comfortable with the place. He's comfortable with Dortmund. He knows the team. They know him. The fans. For me, that would probably be his best bet to go. But again, it's Roma, still a massive club.
It's what's on the table as well. And actually, to be fair, it'd solve a bit of a headache for Manchester United as well, wouldn't it? Because they're trying so hard to get some of those players off their books too. By the way, I've got to ask you about Nottingham Forest, because they're starting to get a bit busy. They are starting to get a bit busy in this transfer market. We've had the whole Gibbs-White saga with Mr. Marinakis, which was quite entertaining. But we understand that they've agreed a deal for James McAtee from Manchester City for nearly £30 million. And that comes after they announced on talkSPORT that they've had a bid accepted for Omari Hutchinson from Ipswich for £37 million. We'll get a bit more on that deal in just a moment. But firstly, McAtee, I think that's a great signing.
Well, both of the players you mentioned are very good players, good, exciting players. I watched them in England and 21s win the championship. Great talent. So, they're definitely looking for the future as well. Players that who can handle it now, but also play, in the future, in years to come. Perfect signings for them.
Are you surprised, actually? I think, especially in the case of McAtee, that it would be a permanent move. Are you surprised that Man City aren't sending him on loan and maybe getting him back? Maybe not learning from Cole Palmer.
You would think that. You would think that maybe we've made this mistake once. Let's not do it again. And I'm sure the Man City fans and board are thinking, please don't let this come back to bite me in the backside, as it did with Cole Palmer. So it's a risk that they're taking. But obviously they've seen something day in, day out in training, but surely they saw that with Cole as well. Because he is a good player. Even when he came on for Man City, he had a little cameo here and there. He did very well.
Yeah, it'd be good to see him playing, won't it, regularly, James McAtee. Let's just get a bit more on that Omari Hutchinson move then. We spoke to Ben Jacobs a bit earlier on the show and he broke the news.
Nottingham Forest are really active at the moment in the market, and I can tell you that they're in talks with Ipswich Town for Omari Hutchinson, who they have tried for before in this window. And my understanding is that a fee of around 37.5 million has now been agreed between the clubs, and Hutchinson therefore is set to leave Ipswich Town and join Nottingham Forest. And personal terms there will be no issue. So that one's looking like it's going to get done.
There we go. So the latest on that, and getting pretty exciting, isn't it, for Forest? So just quickly, where do you see them ending up this season? They're quite a tough one to predict, Forest, I think.
Yeah, I think they had a standout season. At one stage it was third, looking nail on to it being the Champions League, and just obviously slipped out towards the end. Are they going to have the same kind of season as last? It's difficult because a lot of teams now are getting stronger and better. So I'm expecting them to be fighting Europe. So 8th, 7th.
I tell you what, they're also in negotiations for Douglas Luiz. There's a lot of clubs interested, but again, you know, that would be proper Premier League experience. I think you ask a lot of Villa fans, they would say that they do miss Luiz, having sold him before. So, yeah, once again, it looks like Forest are going to get pretty active at the end of this window. This is Transfer Insiders here on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes 18+, begambleaware.org. In just a moment, we're going to be asking the question, where is Alexander Isak? This is the Transfer Insiders on talkSPORT. I'm Olly Clink. Alongside me is Jermaine Pennant. This is your whistle-stop tour of the biggest transfer news of the day. Now, of course, the saga that has been running throughout this summer involves Alexander Isak potentially leaving Newcastle United. He's thrown his toys out of the pram. He's refusing to train. Earlier on the Transfer Insiders, our transfer reporter Ben Jacobs joined the show and gave us the latest on the saga.
Look, I think the situation is quite tense between Newcastle and Isak, as we know, and yet Liverpool haven't moved, so no update at the moment in the sense of they've not walked away. They want Isak, he's the priority target, but there hasn't been any new engagement club to club since that rejected bid of 110 million. It's Newcastle's first St James's Park match after this weekend. Next weekend is at home to Liverpool. So maybe there's an impasse and a radio silence, because it would be unthinkable to get it done and have Isak make his debut at St James's Park wearing a red shirt. So I sense there's politics over price, there's politics between player and club, and there genuinely is a bit of an impasse. Liverpool are backing off, they're waiting, but it wouldn't surprise me if after that game in the final week of the window, Liverpool to Isak still picks up and ultimately gets done, because Isak's position, remember, at the moment anyway, is he will not play another game for Newcastle United Football Club, even if he's still there when the window shuts.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jermaine, I've got a bit of an update on this for you.
Breaking news.
Breaking news on talkSPORT. The dominoes are starting to fall, mate, because I can tell you that Brentford are closing in on a £42.5 million deal for Bournemouth forward Dango Ouattara, we understand, which doesn't sound like it's the biggest news in the world, but it's what it means, because a club-to-club agreement is expected imminently with Ouattara keen on the move. His arrival should allow Yoane Wissa to join Newcastle from Brentford.
Go on, Brentford. You make it happen, Brentford. Do you know what that means? That's the domino effect for Newcastle to then open up the door for Isak.
Yeah, but hold on.
There's no hold on.
No, hold on.
There's no hold on.
Hold on. The only thing I will say is... Firstly, I'm really happy they're getting Wissa. Firstly, I genuinely am.
Yeah,
I'm really happy.
I'm happy for you guys.
At the moment... I'm
not patronising you. I'm happy for you guys. Wissa's a good player. I'm happy for you guys.
All right, mate. Yeah, nice. But I am happy we're getting Wissa, seriously, because he's a very, very good player. The only thing I'm just going to halt your little celebration there, because the only thing is that Newcastle did say that they wanted 2 strikers through the door.
Oh, you're being greedy now. I want 2.
No, we want 3 or 4, I reckon. Yeah.
My God, free Isak, man. You've got a striker. Free him. Free my boy Isak.
I think they might hold out for another striker, mate.
No,
I'm only winding you up. I do think this could be it. This could be the domino effect, because I think Newcastle would have been so worried, wouldn't they, about heading into that season. I mean, when they play Villa on Saturday, live on talkSPORT, 12:30 kickoff, Anthony Gordon will be the number 9. Yeah. You know, and as much as he is decent and can play in that position, you know, you cannot go through a whole season with someone playing that position in that area. It's great that Yoane Wissa wants to come to the
Premier League proven, which helps.
Premier League proven. Scored more goals from open play than Isak last season. Yoane Wissa, mate. So we don't even need him. You can have him.
That name.
You can have him.
Oh, Yoane Wissa. That's his name already.
But, I mean, this is actually massive news, isn't it? And
in the big grand scheme of things, it's massive for the domino effect that it potentially could have.
Yeah. Who'd have thought Dango Ouattara's transfer could change Premier League history? Yeah. Because if Liverpool get Isak through the door, they're already title favourites for so many people, but that blows out the water, doesn't it?
I think that puts him like firm favourites. Yes, it does with the signing of Isak, but it's still going to be tight. It's still going to be competitive, but them firm favourites.
How damaging has this whole scenario been for Newcastle as a club? Because I feel like, you know, especially fans of Big Six clubs have looked at this and they've gone, well, Newcastle are a stepping stone club then, aren't they? You go there and you play well enough and eventually you'll get a bigger move. And very reluctantly, obviously, Newcastle are having to let Isak go, it seems, in this kind of scenario. Do you feel that that's damaging in terms of the project that Newcastle have and the club that they want to be at the moment?
No, not per se, because you've got to look who's coming in. It's not like it was a mid-table team with a massive offer. It's Liverpool end of the day, and they are huge and they are one of the pulling powers in world football. So, yeah, what is damaging is the amount of rejections that Newcastle have got. And I don't think it's mainly because Newcastle, the club. I think it's that there's no sporting director who make a lot of decisions in that field. That's their niche. That's what they do. Make deals, get it done, get it over the line, convince. When you've got the owners who are, and they said it was not really football based, don't really know how the Premier League works as well. It's trying to get some of these deals is difficult.
You've got to sell that project, haven't you?
But that's what your director's for.
Yeah, and maybe even, you know, when even in that situation, you know, where you know the reports are that Isak was offered this. You know, he was going forward and saying, "Look, I've played really well. I've scored a lot of goals. Can we maybe have a conversation about a new contract?" Even in those discussions, you've got to be careful. Even if you're there going, "Look, right now we can't do it because of PSL, but I promise you, right, if you have another amazing season, you wait and see that contract. You wait and see how far this club can get. We've just won a cup. We've just got in the Champions League. I do understand he's you know, careers are short, and he wants to go somewhere like Liverpool where he could win titles, etc. But yeah, there is an element here where Newcastle slightly dropped the ball, I think, because as difficult as it was going to be, You're right. They haven't had a sporting director in place to try and sort this situation out, and as a result, they're going to be losing one of their star players. It seems, but it doesn't matter because Johan Wissa's coming in. It's fine.
Yeah, you got Johan Wissa.
He's an absolute star. Do you think next summer Liverpool go in for Wissa? Do you think?
Hey, do you know what?
180 million.
You can keep him. You can have Wissa.
Oh really? You wait, mate.
For the long term.
You wait. You wait till
He's all yours.
St James's Park.
Yeah.
Newcastle, Liverpool. You know who's scoring, mate. You know who's got big Johan.
Isak. I know he's scoring, brother.
For Liverpool. Yeah. Oh, well, there we go. Weird feeling for me because it's always nice to hear that your club is making a new signing, but it feels like a bit of an end of an era. But I mean, we've talked about it, haven't we? I thought that was it anyway. What's going to be interesting now, I think, and I want your view on this. What is the fee going to be for Isak? What is the fee going to be? Liverpool have already gone in with 110 million, and that was rejected. So, what do they do now? Do they go in with a similar bid? Do they go in much higher? I mean,
they will go higher. They will go in with, I would say, probably trying now 120 million. Like, that's smashing the British record out the window, plus add-ons. Those add-ons will be performance-based. If we win this, if he scores this, if he plays this, that could be an extra 20 million over the period of his contract. Or 30 million. As an all as a package, you've already reached then 150 million. So 120 million over 2 years, 60 million a year, plus player achievement add-ons will tally up to close to 140/50.
Yeah.
That's the deal done.
If Isak does end up at Liverpool, now that the dominoes are in play, who scores more next season? Isak or Haaland? Isak or Haaland?
Ooh,
top scorer.
I'm going. Isak.
Are you going Isak? Do you not think
he scored more this season? Last season.
But
I know Haaland was injured, but so was Isak. He was injured for a good period.
Yeah, for a bit. Yeah. But I just think the goals are quite spread though, aren't they?
But if you look at it, who creates more chances, Liverpool or Newcastle? If you look at Darwin Núñez, he could have been on the same number as Salah. The amount of chances that he misses.
Good point. Yeah, that is a good point. Do you know who you need to sign, mate, now? Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy. Don't laugh at that, mate. What did he get? 12 assists for Isak last season?
Jacob Murphy is my hero in my FPL. He was my go-to guy.
Absolute bargain.
Absolute
bargain.
Jacob, if you listen to this, thank you, my friend. You won me the cup and a bit of money.
Legend of the game, Jacob Murphy. Legend. Absolutely love him. There we go then. Some huge breaking news for you there. Don't forget, this is the Transfer Insiders. This show is live tomorrow on radio, YouTube, Smart TV and the talkSPORT app from 7 o'clock tomorrow. And you can catch the podcast on Apple, Spotify, Acast, or wherever you get your podcasts. Jermaine, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate.
As always, Ollie.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Well, you're in a great mood now, aren't you? You can't stop grinning.
Can't wait to get
Can't stop grinning. I know I can't wait for Johan Wissa. Coming up here, up next here on talkSPORT, don't go anywhere, it's the Sports Bar with the Dream Team, Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy.